right, it is a Thursday night forum. Thanks everybody for joining us live. Thank you, Stan, and your accompanying legend with you, beside you, Stan. Thank you, Stan, and welcome to the Thursday night forum. We have Tony Adams in situ with Stan also. Uh, okay, pull up the chair. You're all welcome here. All of that good stuff. How we doing, Stan? Not the best night.
Well, I look at it this way: this was a competition that I really wanted to win, as being a completionist. But the team that won, I think they won it deservedly. Over the two legs, they've done enough to get through. Now we just have to put that one into the rearview mirror, and we have to focus now on the matter at hand. There was a part of me that when it got to like the actual 90 minutes, and I could see that we weren't going to win in the 90, I was thinking, as the referee puts the whistle to his lips, can't we just score like an own goal and just walk off the pitch? Just to say, like, we don't want to go into extra time. Do you know what I mean? With the game coming up at Crystal Palace. So I'm glad that we went for it, though, because you sometimes, are you someone that's looking ahead or the here and now? And there was an opportunity for us to maybe try and win this one. It just wasn't to be. And I think maybe those earlier forced substitutions, couldn't have helped. And just so that when I was watching the game, when I tuned in, it was just as Tomiyasu was being withdrawn. So I missed Saliba. I've not seen a replay of what actually happened there. So I hope you can fill me in. But just to round off, as far as I'm concerned, Celavi, we move on now to the matter at hand, which is the league, and maybe in a sneaky way, this may help us. Maybe Man City fans were hoping that we'd stay in. More games, right?
Yeah.
Good evening, Gary. Good evening, Tony.
Yeah. Good evening,
Hello.
Tony. Good evening, Gary. C'est la vie. It is what it is. But for me, I mean, I know we all wanted to win this game. We all wanted to move on. We all wanted to improve our European pedigree, or add to our European pedigree, such that it is over a quarter of a century now since we last won a European Cup for the Arsenal, and this could be the end of Thursday nights as we know it. We're going to go into the Champions League next year, but we're going to talk about it. Are we ready to go into the Champions League? With that being said, let's get a few comments in, then we'll go down to Tony and Gary as they get settled in. Stephen's here, the Arsenal Misfit. Evening, everyone. Win or lose, that was not the type of game we needed. We needed it to be done after 90 minutes, and our performance was not good enough. We would not have scared anybody in Europe, even if we had progressed tonight. Brady's here. Evening, gentlemen. Hope everyone's doing good. Apart from the results, I think most of us are doing good. Tony is struggling a little bit, so bear with him. Brady said, shame about the result. We were not at our usual best tonight, but we must move on to bigger fish. Bigger fish to fry now. And BX Gunner, usually very positive. What a colossal shit show that was. Can't disagree with any of that. It was a bad night all around. Even the stadium was falling apart. Holes in the stadium.
Two holes.
2 holes in the stadium. The assemble is here. Onto
Let's
Palace.
put up some fancy wallpapers and not fix the fucking roof. Way to go, Arsenal.
Our record in Europe is abysmal in recent years. Champions League next year will answer a lot of questions again. And we're going to need to, as I said in the short description, we need to move on to Crystal Palace, the Premier League, and into the summer and fortify for the summer because we can't go into Europe with this squad. Now, I think we're going to talk about it, but we don't have the strength and depth to sustain many competitions. Ramsdale was his best Seaman impression. Yeah, we all remember Naeem scoring that lob from the halfway line. The Arsenal fit, that wasn't the stadium roof leaking. That was Kim Kardashian. All right, Tony, give us your opening salvo.
To me, I never placed too much on that. I know a lot of other fans did, like Stan. He wanted to win it and the league. But for me, it's more competitions we're in, less injury less energy going into the rest of the games. But one error from Ramsdale pretty much derailed that. Extra time, their goalkeeper saved them because Gabriel was that close to heading it in twice within a minute and a half. But it wasn't to be our night. Went to penalties, and they won. And another thing on Sporting is that they haven't lost their last 7 attempts playing in England in knockout rounds. Yeah.
Okay. That is a stat indeed. Apparently, Tommy Yasu did leave on crutches. We are a little bit more hopeful, although there is no news filtering through unless Gary, Tony, or Stan have something more than me, that Saliba may not be as badly injured. I believe I heard it's a lower back injury. Water filling from the stadium top was hilarious. We had 3 first half subs and it only got worse. What's our casualties at now? Gary, what have you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was looking at our lineups and we never went with a full strength lineup at all. So we can't say that we took this thing too seriously. I think we needed to do it at least once, but we never did it at all. And I think we paid for it a little bit. I don't think the injuries were the concern, but having to play 120 minutes was probably not on the. We're not set up as a team to do that, and we needed to have won this thing in 90 minutes. The only way we can do that is if we go strong. We didn't do that, and I think we paid for it. I don't want to put the players out there if we don't give them the best chances to win, and I don't think we did that today. We didn't do that either today or last Thursday. Pick one of them. We needed to go a little strong in one of them. We didn't go strong enough. So yeah, and I think that hurts. And then next year when we're in the Champions League, things will be different. No, they will be worse. They'll be worse. I mean, we're playing better teams in Champions League, so no, it's not going to be better. I like to use this thing as I say, a stepping stone to where we're planning to go. Right, the way we ended the season last year with the way that thing ended, that hopefully was a lesson learned of how to close out the end of a season. We're going to have to do that again, most likely. And who knows? Hopefully, we'll have we won't have injuries like today creep up in a game when when we need the points. We needed to win today, and yeah, it's a lesson. But I don't know. Some people say Arteta doesn't really put too much, doesn't put too much into these games, and the team plays like it every time, and then we go, oh, we'll be better next year in the Champions League. Why can't we just be better today, not tomorrow? You know what I mean? We're always looking to the next thing. No, today. Let's do this. Every time we go out there and play, we should be going out there to win. And I think there's not too many games this season where you look at it and you go, I think the better that they beat us today. It's not too many. I don't think today was one of those days where you look at it and go, well, we didn't have it. We didn't have a chance to get one. We should have got. We could have got it today, but we didn't for multiple reasons. But I would have liked to up our odds. And I don't think we did that.
Yeah, listen, BX Skinner's right. We should have a better squad next season. We need to have a better squad next season because these players are auditioning now. And if we have to go into a situation where we have to bring Partey, Saka, Erdegaard to get some semblance of a performance in the last 15 minutes of extra time, then we're in big trouble in these ties when we go into Europe. And injuries and depth will be a key. Brady said, got to give credit to Amorim and his tactics. The amount of space they managed in the second half was noticeable. Not many teams that did that at our place. And I think Stan might appreciate what I'm going to say next. I think Amorim reminded me of Daniel Ricciardo, Stan, the Sporting Lisbon manager. Daniel Ricciardo lookalike?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I thought they played a very good game. And I was actually happy with the lineup that he initially chose because we've been saying that there are certain players that they need to get minutes. And I think Mikel was trying to show his faith maybe in some players. But as you could see, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about players more individually, but just as an example, you can see the big difference with T-Bag compared to an Odegaard, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can see a very big difference there. So, you know, he got forced to make those substitutions early on, which then dictated what substitutions he could make at a later stage.
Yeah.
So his substitutions looked awkward from the outside, but I think he was kind of ham-fisted a little bit with what happened. But, you know, we tried to fight. We tried to put in the players to make a difference, but it just wasn't enough. And, you know, going into extra time and to penalties, I thought to myself, well, this is the end really now. You know, I don't see us getting through that penalty shootout because their goalkeeper was pretty good. I thought to myself, he's at least going to save one penalty, that guy. And he did.
Yeah.
Did he save it? Was it a bad penalty kick taken? Because
I think it was a bad
I think
penalty.
it was more. Was it the?
Well, he did enough saving earlier in the game to make up if he missed it.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't.
penalty.
I don't think the PKs had any. Were like more on him making a really like Ramsdale got picked right 3 or 4 times
Mm-hmm.
and wasn't able to be there. So
I will say this though, right? When we came back from the the World Cup break, and I was looking ahead at the rest of the season, I thought to myself, well, we are going to lose some of the odd game here and there along the way. And if today has to be one of those losses, then I'd rather take it today than on a Premier League day, if that makes any sense. Because we seem to bounce back after a loss. After the Man City game, we bounced back and went on a run of 5 games. So if we have to take a loss, I'd rather it was today. And we get that out of our system, and then we come back trying to fight stronger.
I'd rather not go into a 2-week break as well on the back of a defeat like this. So let's summon everything up to.
Let's play in the fucking summer. Internationals for the summer.
That's not going to happen, Tony. So you and Tom, I think, are the ones who are saying this, or you and somebody else have been saying this.
I'm not the only one. Come on, Ray.
I don't think it's not going to happen. You're not going to get 10 international games fit into a summer
But
program.
you just had a freaking World Cup. Why do you need a break again already? It's stupid.
DeSamble said, in my opinion, I wasn't too confident when I saw the lineup. The midfield was a tad slow. So
yeah, I mean, we used the same midfield as we did in the last match. I mean, Xhaka, Vieira, and Jorginho. For me, Vieira and Xhaka just isn't a really good pairing for us. Vieira is not there yet, and Xhaka can't make up the slack when we put Odegaard on the bench. So it didn't help. And then when we took off Vieira instead of I figured since we're chasing a goal, we'll keep more of our offensive players on the pitch. For me, that would have been Xhaka off and keep Vieira on there. He's more likely to make a pass or a shot. We're looking for Xhaka to score for us. I think that's no good odds there.
No. He had given us the goal in the first half.
We've seen Arteta do that all season. He makes defensive substitutions instead of offensive 9 times out of 10. You see it with Rob Holding come in all the time. Who wants to trust Rob Holding? I don't.
Well, he had to today, but I mean the reason why I would have rather have Vieira out there is just because we needed the goal. We didn't need to. We need to get out at 90 minutes. He didn't really have a squad that he really wanted to go into extra time with. So if you lose because you go offensive, then you lose. But the fact that we didn't change much and didn't go offensively in that midfield, I think hurt us a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't bring Odegaard on much sooner, and that was a choice.
I think maybe Arteta made a mistake today. Does anyone think the same thing by not going strong to start the game? Then you risk pushing Partey, Odegaard, Saka into reserve levels of energy.
That's what I
60 minutes.
I find it weird though. All season long, he's went really strong in these cups, and here it is, your most important game, and you don't.
Well,
then two of the players are out in 30 minutes. Then Gabriel, Jesus can't go that long. I don't know why you start risk like him and Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's always fighting injury, hasn't been fit all season long.
I don't think he went weak. Really?
In the
We
midfield, we were weak. That's our
started
weakest.
with
That's our weakest
Fabio.
midfield that we have.
You got Fabio on the right side, especially Fabio Vieira on the right side, Nelson on the right side, and Tomiyasu on the right side as well.
But Tomiyasu was a starter for us. He's supposed to be.
Yeah, I know, but Ben
know?
White is a better player than Tomiyasu. So I think he went kind of weak in those areas. Jesus, I think we're okay with Jesus coming in for the first half and Trossard coming in second half. But I think we started a little bit weak in those three positions. Pretty strong everywhere else, you know. And but this is an indictment on our squad, Stan. You know, if we can't get through a tie by bringing three squad players in, three depth players in, against Sporting Lisbon, with all due respect, and you know they're a good team, as Tony said. They haven't been beaten now on British soil, right?
Maybe he swapped out the wrong three.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Maybe he should have, taken Gabriel out and maybe started with Kivior.
Well, I think we have I think we sacrificed the tie.
Turner, did he? You know,
what we've had to do is
Kivior and
we played Kivior and we played Turner in the first leg, and I think we have to look at this tie over both games. You know, I'm not going to mention legs, Tony, over both games. And by blooding Kivior in the first game, alongside Turner, we put ourselves at a disadvantage, I think, by losing that first goal, possibly losing the second goal through a Turner mistake. Pep has had problems winning the Champions League, and Arteta seems to be struggling in Europe as well. Is there anything in that? Probably not. I don't think there is. Pep has struggled. We have gone out now in the Europa League to Olympiacos, Valencia, right?
Villarreal,
yeah, Unai Emery, and now a third defeat in the Europa League. If we go on, it's a big if, right? If we go on to win the league, then we can package this season up, Gary, by saying we compromised the Carabao Cup for the league, we compromised the FA Cup for the league, and we kind of compromised the Europa League for the Premier League trophy we haven't won in 19 years.
Yeah, it looks like that. I mean, it looks like we are not willing to, at least once in a while, maybe go strong in one of those three other cup, games that we had. I think we need.
I still disagree with that because there's so many games we had 10 starters.
Yeah, but no, they didn't start. They all
5 of them do and 5 come on.
Yeah, but that doesn't help. That's not a good way to play. That's not saying the starters actually played together. I'd rather have the starters start a match and then you pull 5 of them out. Then, right? Because if you're starting your starters, then more than likely we're going to have a better first half, and maybe we have a 2-goal lead as opposed to we were struggling to get the 1 goal. I mean, think about this. We played 2 matches. I can't say the L word, but 2 matches against Sporting, and our top scorers didn't score. Martinelli, Saka, Erdegaard, Trossard. Who else? I'm missing one.
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, those are 5 quality attackers. None of them scored. Something to be said about that. And they should be able to. We should be able to get 1 goal from those 5 players in a 2-game span, right? Against the same team.
Yeah.
I think we're a good enough team to be able to do that. At least get 1, right?
Stan, what have you got?
I just don't think that changing 3 players out of 11 constitutes fielding a second string team. I mean, the goalkeeper's the first team player. The left back is in there. The
Jorginho's another one. That's 4. Then.
Everyone's been saying he's been playing really well. He's not like a young kid from the academy. He's experienced. He knows the league.
Yeah.
I thought he played really good today. That pass that he put to Martinelli was like, you can't get any better than that. Yeah. That pass was like, stand up and have a look at that.
Now we've got
a number 1 striker back in the team as well. And everyone's been saying that Saka needed to be rested. And Reece Nelson has been looking good, and so he was rewarded and has been shown faith. So Saka could have that rest. So I don't think that we've fielded what I would call a B team.
That
at all.
midfield is mid team is not even a B team.
I think, is it fair?
The reason
Stan,
why
to say-
we're
I don't
struggling
agree
is
with
because our midfield is a big step down. The
Yeah.
quality from our number one mid three and what we did in the last two Europa League knockout games, there's a big gap, and
But we know we have to be
we've
careful
noticed
with
that
a
we've
player like
missed.
Partey.
When we lose the midfield, we struggle. Right?
No, but we
When
know that
lose
we
the
have to
midfield,
be
we
careful with a
struggle.
player like Partey because he does seem to pick up these niggling injuries. But he was on the bench, and the player
Yeah.
going in for me, Jorginho. You know, it's not like we've put in Sambi Conga instead. Jorginho is capable.
That is a
Listen
fair
to
point.
me sticking up for Jorginho.
Let's
You know what I mean?
so let's zoom in then on our 2-8s, Stan. We've talked about Granit Xhaka. He was quite poor tonight, and Fabio
Scored a
Vieira,
goal.
I'll throw him in as well. Yeah, he scored a
He
goal.
scored a
but
goal, but then he
after
gave
that-
one back. He gave one back.
eh,
It's his
We-
pass, a
it
poor
was
pass.
between
He
him
didn't want.
Jorginho.
He didn't have
Yeah.
a quality touch on that ball. Gave up the ball, and they scored on it. So he gave it back. So it's a wash. And then
Mm.
look, what else did he do outside of the goal that he scored?
And Ramsdale. Listen, Ramsdale has to have better footwork to get back. That ball
How do you
seemed to
not
be
backtrack? I can backtrack at that by hopping
that
backwards.
ball did
on
seem
my
to
one
be
leg.
in the air a
David
lot.
Seaman couldn't.
You're thinking the whole time that
Twice.
Ramsdale.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
thinking
see
Twice
when the
David
ball
Seaman
is up
couldn't,
in
right?
there,
Naeem
8
and
seconds.
Ronaldinho.
You don't know what
I
his first
wanna-
move. You don't know what his first move was when that pass was missed. You know,
Yeah.
that poor pass
He
happened
could have
because
come
he'd probably been
forward.
leaning forward, and next thing you
Mhm.
know, bang bang, they've got the ball, and there's a ball coming in,
And
and
look-
he's stumbling to get his
It doesn't
footing.
take that long.
You got caught
Yeah,
out.
I think
It
he's
happened
gonna-
really
Caught out.
fast. We gave the ball
Do
away
football
to
players
them.
not work on footwork? Do they not?
If he's
settle their
leaning
feet through
forward and then you
ropes?
have to go backwards, Tony, it is not that as easy as you say.
It's
got-
not
you got
that
caught
damn
out.
How many
hard.
times it happens? Many times. It
He got
happens
caught
many
out,
times.
right? He
We're
was
talking
too far
about
forward. He wasn't
Yeah.
on his line. He was too far forward. He looked right. The ball was nowhere near where somebody should be taking a shot. But the guy that got the ball had the vision to say, he's off his line. I could lob this.
Got to give
And
credit
then-
to the. You got
there
to
you
give
go.
credit to the strike.
There you
as
go.
well.
Now you've got to now you've got to try and get it back. And David Seaman, who's one of the best, he fouled twice, didn't he? Naeem and Ronaldinho. And when he
Yeah.
when Ramsdale was sat in the net, it reminded me just of David Seaman. It looks like exactly the same picture.
Yeah. I think there's something into this, Stephen. Here we had a lead. We went into our second half shell. I think we came out 1-0. I got home to see the second half, thanks to the hour, the difference in time now, and it definitely helped Tony. And I saw Arsenal go into the shell a little bit. We could not string any passes together, and Sporting had the initiative, and they pushed us back and back, and we probably missed Gabriel Jesus. I'm going to leave it to whoever saw the first half. Was there a big difference between the first half and the second half?
I think it was I don't think it made a difference because we still had some opportunities to score, but
Was
mean,
Jesus holding the ball up a lot more in the
I
first
don't
half?
think there was a
Okay.
difference in that. I don't think that was what we were missing in the second half when he came out. I mean, he made some. He looked really, really, really good on the ball. He just could not finish. I mean, he got a ball between the defender's leg. The goalkeeper got a hand on it, and then another time. So he looked. He's just not there yet. That's what I can say about
Right.
that. He's not there yet. Because if he would have played 60, 70 minutes, he probably would have got a goal if he could play that long. But for me, it didn't look like just because he was out, that means we lost our opportunities. I think we have, the start of that front line should be good enough. But like I said, I think it was, for me anyways, it looked like that midfield didn't help us in those situations. I mean, the ball just, even when Partey came in, it's like Partey, and he still got lost sheep in front of him. Trying to get that ball up to the front line was just tough. It's really
Yeah.
tough for us.
Yeah. Arteta is just beginning his coaching career. Can't say he's struggling in Europe. I think we have to say now, after 3 years, that he can't be struggling anymore. He's not just beginning. I don't know. I know it's not a long time, but it's enough time to start judging him on. The first season we went out to Olympiacos, he was a new coach, just starting out with a poor squad. Second time against Villarreal. Was it Villarreal? I keep messing up on that, Gary. Was it Villarreal?
Yep.
Unai Emery.
Mhm.
And I think he tried some very strange things when we had injuries up front. The false nine, we'll remember that one. And this one, you had the players and you didn't play them, in my opinion. You didn't play it strong enough. We all have differing opinions on that.
Or you play Xhaka as your left back.
Yes, that too.
That wasn't in the Europa League. That was in Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this the way to Tipperary? I hope, but it's a long, long way to go, Sam. I hope we are on the way to Tipperary. But as the song goes, it's a long, long way to go. And Gary, you talk about levels. We've raised our levels since last season, but football informs you where you are. And we need to raise our levels again. If we need to go into more competitions, we need to raise our levels.
Oh yes.
And
Yep.
that means
Like I said, it doesn't get
improving.
easier the way we are competing. As long as we maintain our form in the league, we'll definitely be playing Champions League, and we'll we'll have
Don't
to
say definitely.
our starters. I said if we continue to play our form, we'll definitely be in the Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No more Thursday nights for a year at least. Anyway, let's see.
I've been saying that for 3 years. I hate fucking Thursdays.
You got to earn the right every year. You got to earn the right to get yourself back.
we'll
Punch
be
that
back on
ticket.
Thursdays again if we don't have decent squad behind our starting 11.
Brady said, just heard the Saliba injury is not too serious. He was back on the bench shortly afterwards. If not this weekend, he should play against Leeds. I was watching a Liverpool podcast because, everyone knows
course you was.
Liverpool's my second favorite.
Of course, you was right. I bet you
They-
even to super chat.
They are happy that there's an international break. Stan, they're happy there's an international break. I'm happy we have another game on Sunday to redeem ourselves before we have a break.
Yeah, but who, is it going to be a break or who's going to be going away on international duty? We know none of the Brazilians are, which is good.
Mhm.
I
Ben
don't want
White's
any of
not.
them. I don't want any of them to go away.
Partey
on
is
international.
going, which is scary.
Yeah. There is absolutely no way I co-sign Tony's idea of murdering footballers by forcing them to play 10, 12 matches in 3 weeks. It was somebody else then, Tony. Wasn't you and Tom that hatched that plot. Sporting looked like they wanted more over the two legs. BX Skinner, I
Not you.
think we used the first leg. We used the first leg to blood some players, and that's
First match.
we overlooked the first match. Sorry, Tony. There's another Tony on the podcast. What was
He's
Tony
getting
saying?
confused. Every time you say Tony, he keeps thinking, is he talking? He keeps saying, am I supposed to answer that? I was like, no, it's the other Tony.
Legend Tony. Will that make it any clearer?
What's
No.
that? He said there could only be room for one Tony on here.
Yeah, one legend. There's only one legend on this podcast.
It's gonna be
Who's
another
gonna
one of
be?
those shows where the man's talking to his. All right.
Hey, we didn't know you were going to get here on time.
What's that supposed to be? Is he gonna disappear after I
No,
show
Tony
up?
was going to take
Like-
your place. Tony was booked into your understudy.
He could have been booked in. It's not you. Who are you? You're not the scheduler here.
It wasn't me. Ray booked
Gary.
him.
No,
Ray, you booked him.
Stan, no,
you thought
Stan
you were-
He's
asked.
getting you in trouble, Ray. I think the man's getting you in trouble.
Stan asked if he could be his +1. So Tony's his +1.
A +1 doesn't sound like Gary replacement, unless I'm misunderstanding how this +1.
He had his own. He was in his own
He
square
wasn't
before you
supposed to
came,
be
Gary.
here. Sorry.
Next Thursday, we're going to call it the prop podcast.
Why isn't Tony getting kicked out?
You
If
can bring a prop,
right?
Gary.
I know. Prop stuff.
We can't go belly up in the league now. Let this defeat fuel a killer final third. exactly right, Biggs. Going to really, it might keep him out of the international break. Not a bad thing. That's Saliba. Don Juan, not going to lie, I am pissed. Yeah, it's embarrassing, right?
What?
Does anyone feel kind of embarrassed?
No.
Because
I-
we've gone out of a Europa League, not even Champions League. This is a competition we should have gotten to a semi-final at least, in my opinion. You know.
But in the first leg, we gave people a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got to. I mean, Gary, I remember you saying that. About players need to come in
Have
and
to
get their
play.
chances. Like
Yeah.
Tomiyasu, he's been coming on. I'm worried. Not worried about Tomiyasu. My concern is he just seems like in the last 3 or 4 appearances, his level seems to have dropped. He seems that he seems a little bit injury prone. And sometimes when you get a player when they first arrive, they're excited, and you look at them, and you think that you're looking at their level, and then there's like a settle period where they kind of like plateau. And I'm not so sure about Tomiyasu because
Mm-hmm.
he's made some mistakes in some games when he's come on that we've discussed in a few games. And remember, Gary was saying he's cold. He's not getting an opportunity to come on. But
Yeah.
when he does get his opportunity, he's like Tierney. Tierney had an opportunity to play the other week, but he was ill. And I'm not saying that I blame him for this, but it's just like, well, if we can't rely on players, if you can't pencil them in on the team sheet, then what good are they to you? Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to sound cold when I say that, but
These
I
are
want the
players you
players
need
to
to
be
rely on.
available. I want them to be
Yeah.
available, and like Tomiyasu, to when he's called upon, to be able to do 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And just like when Unai came in, what did we go 25, 26 games without losing? With a very poor squad.
These squad players need to be able to play up at Leeds on a cold Monday night.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, you've seen Tomiyasu play, but he's been playing in some really important matches, right? He played he didn't play for 6 weeks. His first match is the City match. Is that really a good evaluation of one of your squad players who probably need, based on what I'm seeing and what I believe, he needed to have played multiple times before that? And then the next time he comes in and plays, it's in the second match of a knockout
But
round,
again,
right?
though, he
So
should be ready to go.
you're
should be
putting
ready to go,
pressure.
right?
You're putting
He came
pressure on
from.
players in the next. You expect them to perform, but they never really get an opportunity to
Well,
actually
no, he
put
played
up
another
at that
game,
form.
Gary.
But he's
He
come
did
from a
play
league,
another
right,
game
where
as
he was
well.
playing
Leicester.
regularly. He's a regular player. He goes on international duty. He plays in World Cups. He's a football player. He's training every day. When it's time to go, you should be ready to go. It kind of reminds me of what Eddie said when Eddie was like, "Well, I need to start." Well, I didn't agree with that. Trossard didn't need to start games. He was coming off the bench and making a difference.
When you're given your chance here,
Emil Smith Rowe for that season was coming off the bench and he was making a difference. So
But he was
I'm
getting
not picking
playing
on
time.
picking on the players, but I'm just like, and you know how much I love Tierney. He's a fellow Scot, man, like me, like myself, right? So, but if we can't count on them, if we can't put their name on the team sheet and count on them to play, they're not good to us.
Are we? Has Arteta kind of put all of his eggs in the Premier League in terms of best 11 every Sunday, every Saturday?
Like I said, I've been
I
asking
don't
for
think so.
rotation forever, and if we don't do that, and then we expect players to perform. I think this is what you see. This is what it looks like.
And look,
I mean, I get it. I get it that certain players should, you can sit for 6 weeks and then you come in and you're supposed to be at, top
Let
form. I
me-
don't believe that is true.
Look
So
how
let me
many
just
minutes.
say
Not
this.
for the
Look
players
how
that
many
we have.
minutes
We don't have players who
Gabriel's
have been in
played.
the league for a while, and when they sit, they know what to expect when they come in. No, we're talking about players that are in their first, second, or third year of the Premier League, right? And Tomiyasu's been injured, throughout that time as well. So when he does get a chance to perform, it's slim, it's small. So I don't.
I think BX said I think Partey and Erdegaard should have started. And look, if we get to the end of May and we're sitting here first place, we win the Premier League. I'm going to feel bad for Tomiyasu if he's only played 10 games. I'm going to feel bad for them. But if Holding has only played 7 games, but at the end of the day, we'll have won the title, and the decisions taken for those league games would have been the ones to win maximum points.
I mean, I believe Tomiyasu is a better footballer than Holding, He's
Yeah.
not performing like it, but I
We're
believe
gonna
he's a
find
better
out,
player,
aren't we?
right?
We're
I
gonna
think,
find
well, yeah,
out.
we're definitely gonna find out if Holding, if he's
Well-
up. No, and my concern now is what Holding has played over. He played over a match today, right? Because he came in early, right? I think
Yeah.
that came in like
20
what, the
minutes
ninth?
in,
Yeah,
right?
20 minutes in. So he played an extra 10 minutes on top of what he would have done if he started. And can he give us back-to-back decent performances? We'll see. And
Playing at home against Crystal Palace, it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
and
Now-
they've got Zaha, and he loves to,
Well, we
he's
would
been
imagine.
struggling all season, and then look, Holding comes in, right?
So we would imagine Holding's going to slide to Saliba's spot, and Ben White
Hang on,
is going to
Tony just said that. He said, "You remember
Right.
when we won the league and he scored that big corker when he come running in and he kicked it in?"
against Everton.
He said that he could see Rob Holding doing the same thing to win us the league.
Yes,
Holding!
breaking through. Don Juan is asking, "What if we don't win the league?" Question. Well, it's going to be. We're going to be very disappointed, Don Juan. We're 5
Then
points
we'll meet
clear
here and
now.
cry.
In the middle of March, you might see me cry. Indeed, we have no competition to fall back on. Sorry, but I don't like the way we disrespect Europe, like we saw today. We didn't turn up. I agree with you, but
I don't
I
think
also
it's
think-
everybody
disrespect,
says
went for
Sporting
it.
isn't a walkover, so you got to give them some respect. So we didn't give them
manager
respect
went
in
for it,
either
I
didn't
game.
agree with Stan. I agree with Stan here, and my stats back it up. 13 shots, 9 on target. You should win that game.
Mhm.
I thought
Tonight-
we went for it. I thought the manager went for it. The manager didn't just go, fuck it. I'm not putting
So-
anybody else on. I'm saving
But the
everyone."
difference
He
of
wanted
the
to
game
win.
was their
If there was a
keeper
kitchen
brilliant.
sink on the bench, that would have come on.
Okay, so
Their
listen.
keeper was brilliant. Ours made one fuck up, and that's the
Here-
game.
Here's the synopsis of the game. Right, we
Tony. I
score.
appreciate that.
We have a couple. We have
I
an
just gave you
injury.
a synopsis, right?
I'm going to go through it real quick. We have an injury. Tommy Asu comes off. Granit Xhaka scores a great goal. We'll talk about that. Jesus gets one half of football. Trossard comes on. They get the equalizing goal. Then we bring Partey and Saka on. Maybe a little bit reactionary. Arteta's been accused of being reactionary, right? Ramsdale, a key save, or did the player actually not put the shot away because he hits Ramsdale's face? Now, goalkeeper's supposed to do that. Spread yourself, spread everything you got, even your jawline.
Even your face.
The old face save.
Make your face big.
Here's the incriminating thing.
That
with
was one of their 2 shots on
with
target. The
Partey-
other one was a 50-yard chip.
With Partey and
Love that.
Saka on, we're playing really well. Extra time, first half.
Yeah.
Teabag.
Okay, let's go back to
Fabio
let's go-
Vieira
Hey,
refuses
let's
a
think
shot.
about this. Let's think about this. We keep talking about, well, this is just the way this team is. We're not a team that just because we get 13 shots and 9 on target that we're going to score. That's not been our MO
Yeah.
all season. So to say that now is
Efficiency.
false. Is false.
Tony,
We don't. That's
efficiency.
not how we've been winning games, just by being efficient with our shots taking. And you can't do that today, because in the whole season, that's not where we are. We usually are in that 20
Let me,
goal range. I mean, think about this. Margulis had as many shots on target as Martinelli and Jesus.
Hmm.
Now, does that sound like a good game?
No.
Yes,
Extra
it does,
extra
'cause he
time.
scored both of them.
For
What?
first half.
Sounds like a good game to me.
First half of
No,
extra
for the
time.
defender, but I'm talking about my
centre-back's
Hold on.
getting
attackers.
in there and having a go and like.
What about my
getting shots
attackers? My
around.
attackers
Fucking, that's
should
what
be
I want.
better than my center back, right?
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Extra
but if it's
time.
coming from a set piece and your centre backs are going up for the set piece and they getting a header on and that, I'm like, excellent, keep doing that. One of them will go
You
in.
get, yeah, you can
He
only
knows.
with a header, you can only get it on target. Now he almost scored. Extra time, Fabio Vieira refuses a shot. Why?
What do you
12
mean?
yards out.
What do you mean he refuses a shot?
He tries to backheel to
Oh.
Granit Xhaka.
You said he heard somebody call for it.
No, that was
No, this-
Trossard, wasn't it? It was
No,
Trossard.
this was Fabio Vieira
I
in
thought
the
Trossard
first
did
half. The other
Trossard did the same thing in the second half.
playing to the right. Yeah, Trossard did the same thing in the second half.
Okay, I didn't see this.
Ben White misses a pass on a quick transition. He misses Fabio Vieira again on a quick transition. And then probably a moment in the game, Trossard is clean through and the keeper makes a save onto the post.
Because
Yeah.
he waits too long to take that damn shot. He needed to
Mm.
take it as soon as he saw the goalkeeper off his line. He didn't do it, and the
From a bad
goalkeeper
Though, isn't
closed
it?
him down.
Erdegaard comes on for Fabio Vieira at the end of the first half. We're going for the win at this point in time. Second half, we have a Partey trademark curling shot wide. Gabriel Megalegs header saved, and the red card on Saka. And the referee didn't really add, I feel, the requisite amount of time toward the end with that red card as well. It seemed like a minute went by when it should have been 2 or 3. So, a bad day at the office. Stan,
I think some of you have been a bit harsh on this one.
which
You know what I
part
mean?
is harsh?
Well, quite a lot of
Fabio
it.
Vieira refusing a shot.
I didn't see that bit. I have to admit, in some of the
Yeah.
first half, as I say, can you just? Why did Saliba? What happened to Saliba? Because I didn't see it. What did he get a bad tackle? Did he overstretch himself? What happened? Why did he go off?
Gary Tony.
He was just down, and so I don't know.
Well,
They
he
didn't
was
show-
running, and
they
what
didn't-
he was
they didn't-
running
they
and
didn't show
strained
replay.
himself and just went down.
They just showed the replay. They didn't show a replay, so
So
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
a tackle or nothing like that.
I have no clue why he was.
A lower
injured.
back
What good
injury.
are you, Gary?
Report,
about-
a
I was
reported
watching the game, but I watched the game, but there's no replay that says.
What
this is
about
what
Tommy
happened.
Asu? Because as I joined, he was just being taken off, and I was like, "What happened there?"
I saw him on crutches
Yeah.
on my timeline. So a leg injury.
Was
Don
that from
Juan
a
said,
tackle? Was that a tackle or what?
yeah, probably a tackle, but I didn't see it. Anyone in the chat box? Don Juan said Saliba got injured during the celebrations. So celebrating the goal, it was right after the goal he got injured. Okay. We couldn't be bothered. The intensity was shocking today. Second gear throughout. Our European record is shocking. I also think Don Juan, the opposing team, controlled
There
the
was no
flow of the game.
intensity. We wouldn't have had 13 shots off with 9 on target. That's what I don't get. Like that, if there was no intensity, you're like, fuck, look, they only took
But
2
that's
shots.
not
in the whole
That's not
game.
the way we play. You're making it seem like that's like our typical Arsenal
We
match.
played really well
not. It's
We
not.
played really well in
That's
extra
Gary.
time when
We
we
are
had
a high
really,
volume shooting team. We don't score. We're not efficient with our shots. We know this going in.
I mean,
So to look at those stats and then go, well, that's high intensity. No, it's not. Not for us. We're a 20 shot taking team on when we're playing.
yeah, but their
when we're playing
goalkeeper was like the
decent.
last son of Krypton. He was all over it.
Yes, but you're talking about 7 shots we didn't take. That could right? If you're
Yeah, there
going
was
to
a
count the
couple
13,
of
13 is bad for us. It's
There
not
was a-
normal for us. 13 is a
was-
good defensive. That would be a good defensive team slowing us
It
down.
might not be normal, Gary, but it's what you want.
No, I know, but it is. But that's not the way we play. You can't look at those numbers and say, "Is that how Arsenal plays?" That's not the way we play.
We have this young team, right?
Mhm.
We have a very young team, and
Mhm.
they're still learning on the job. They have far and away exceeded my expectations for this season thus far. So
Yeah.
even getting to the final 16 of European competition, whilst being at the top of the league, I think is tremendous.
I'll do that. I'll talk about that at the end of the season, though.
I know he does
Right
that a lot.
now, this game sucked to me.
Yes.
At the end of the season, we'll have that chat where we'll
I
look
agree
back
with
and
Gary.
go, this was a really good season.
What
And
does
the fact
Tony
that we
have
got
to
it
say
this
to you,
far
Stan?
with a shrunken team, good. But right now, no, we're evaluating this game as it is today, and today was not
What
good.
we got?
There are people out there, right, in this league, right, who have never been in this situation. They've not been in a situation where they're like, my team is in the second leg of the last 16 of European competition, and on the other side of it, we're sitting at the top of the league and we're fending off Man City.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, are you not entertained?
I love
mean-
the last part of that, Stan. I love the last part of that. We're ahead of Manchester City, 5 points clear in the middle of March with 10 weeks to go in the league, and about 10 or 11 games to go. We've got a 5-point lead. Now,
people, if you're looking at Arsenal, you must be excited. I mean, obviously, Haaland's 5 goals in the Champions League, notwithstanding. But other than that,
indeed.
Hello.
Stan, all of this, we will look back at this game in the context of what happens in the league. And I'm quite not that I'm happy, but we gathered points around the
But hold on,
time.
right? Don
We
Juan, right?
went out at
Hang on,
Carabao Cup
hang
and
on.
the FA
Don Juan's
Cup.
like, Stan, we ain't won nothing yet. I get that. So am I supposed to be like miserable, sitting here like trying to hold in a fart until the end of the season and then explode? And then when we win it, look back and go, I didn't enjoy all of those moments. I'm enjoying the
1-1.
moments. I'm enjoying the moments. And
I
even
can't
Enjoy
enjoy
it.
this
Enjoy it.
game
hold
at
on,
all.
right? Hold on. Even if we
No.
finish second, God forbid, I would have still enjoyed this ride because I'm seeing some good football from this young team. I'm seeing improvement from a manager who, at one point, I was 80% that I think that this job was too big for him and he should go,
Yeah.
and he was hanging
Yeah.
in there, and he's managed to turn it all around. He's won an FA Cup. There's managers in this league that have been in the game far longer than Mikel Arteta and managed at a variety of clubs in different leagues in different places, and they've never won an FA Cup. So you have to. I give these guys credit, and I'm not going to get on their backs if we finish second, because I can see because I know that it won't be because we didn't try.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
team are triers, they're achievers, and they want this. And if we fail,
Everybody.
okay, we fail.
Yeah. Everybody has to
hang on, as
decide.
that manager said, was it football is probably one of the the most important thing of the least important things.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
That doesn't make any sense because when you're playing on the pitch,
Because,
you're trying to
there are
win
things
the
that are
game.
more important than football, Gary. There are things
Yeah,
that are
but we're
far
not
more
talking
important
about
in
that.
this life
We're
than
a
football.
football team
But
talking
of
about
those things that
football.
are less important,
This is not a
football is the
reality
most
show.
important
We're not
one.
talking about everything going on in the world today. No, this is a football show. So
Listen,
we should be
Well,
upset with the way
Gary,
we played today.
Gary, maybe
Tomorrow we can
Gary,
look back and go, it was a good ride.
Gary, if you don't want to broaden your horizons, that's
No,
I'm
I just don't think tonight's not
Here's
the
the
time to
thing.
talk about
Listen,
everything in its entirety right now. We're talking about
Tonight we
one
got
game, right?
sourpuss, Gary. With
I don't know how many million. There's millions of Arsenal fans out there, and nobody's going to feel exactly the same way about everything when it comes to Arsenal.
Gary, open your third eye.
You know? Oh,
No, I'm not. I'm a football fan, and I believe you are too.
Yeah, I am, but I'm
Yes.
just saying in the
So,
scheme
yeah,
of things,
but
do
that's
you know
not
what I
what
mean?
we're talking about. This is
Seriously,
not
right?
that discussion now.
Gary, this is one.
Yes.
Seriously, right? Let me. This is for me as an Arsenal supporter right now. This
Hmm.
is one of my proudest moments as an Arsenal supporter. Right up there with the invincible seasons. I'm totally bowled over with what I'm seeing and from what I've seen of Arsenal ever since I've started supporting them. And I'm praying that we can get to the end of this with the big prize. But if we don't, do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna like start throwing rocks at the greenhouse, and you know.
Here,
What I said today has no bearing in how I look at the season at the end.
correct.
Because
This
there's 38 tests. I tell you guys that all
Yeah,
the time. I'm being consistent about this. 38 tests. We should be able to. We try to win all of them. When we
What-
don't win, I'm upset. And I
what's
can be upset.
frustrating? What is frustrating for all of us here is that we see two different tiers of Arsenal. We have 11, 12, 13 players that we can hang our hat on every Premier League game and say, if we are fit without injuries or without suspensions, we can put 11, 12, 13 players out there. And we know we're quite confident we're going to beat Palace on Sunday. The difference
said
is,
so.
Tony, the difference is when you go into these cup competitions and you start making the tea weak, is what I've been saying this season. Making
I don't
the
think
tea
we've
weak.
made of that week, right?
Milky.
With too much milk, you've used a tea bag you've already used. You put another tea bag. You've used the same tea bag twice.
When you play 10 starters in a game, that's weak tea.
No, we wouldn't say that. But when you play 8, then it's weak. And you have 3 or 4 players, you wouldn't hang your hat on each and every game. You know, that's
But this game was that close because
yes,
most of the time, Gabriel would have got one of those two.
Exactly. This
Two
game
headers.
was that close because Trossard takes his chance and scores in that position. You know, this game was that close because Turner comes for the corner in the first game. You know, I'm not blaming Kivior. I think he got a shout for that.
But I wouldn't even blame
first-
Trossard. He has a shot. The keeper manages to get a touch on it.
Yeah.
It hits the post.
It's
you know?
fine. Here we are again, fine margins in Europe. We get it. Maybe we win 2-1 in Lisbon, and we come back and play a 1-1 draw. and we're through. We're through. We don't have penalties. We don't have added time. Olympiacos, Villarreal, and Sporting, all teams we should have beaten. And I think we're going to catch up here to people. Was Jesus' substitution just a precaution? I think so. You can't risk him for more than.
Can I just ask a question there? What did
Yeah.
everybody think of Gabriel's performance today coming back? Because I say I was a
Gabriel
bit patchy in the
I
first
didn't
half.
see him.
I only
Gary's
seen patches
happy.
of it too.
You what? What did you say, Tony?
I said I only seen patches of it too. So
Okay.
No,
Not you, Tony.
Jesus was good. I don't, for a man who's been out of football for a while and coming back, I can't.
He looked sharp.
I mean, he looked really good. I mean, like I said, if he's a month from now, those opportunities that he's putting there will look so easy. It'll be so easy
Did he
for
actually
him.
have some shots or anything, or
Oh,
was
yeah,
he
he had a
like
couple of shots.
assisting?
Yeah. He had a nice shot. It went between the defender's leg, and the goalkeeper was able to get a hand on it. I mean, really, yeah. So he was really, when he got the ball inside the box, he was threatening the entire time. I think it's one of those, for me, it looked like the head and the legs just aren't at the same speed right now.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, and you're like, man, if he just could stabilize himself just a little bit more, he'll be able to get a shot off. But I think his head knows what to do. His legs probably can't do it.
How
just
do
yet.
you think his style of play differs to Trossard? Because they're quite similar in a way, aren't they? The way that they move.
Trossard is not like. What do you say?
He's Jesus is a little bit more physical. They play a similar game, but he's more physical about it. Trossard, I think, drifts and looks for the ball a little bit more and finds pockets.
Yeah,
in the half.
One-on-one.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
One-on-one, he's our better player. Like I said, one-on-one, and he'll take advantage of whatever you give him. Right? If you he'll take advantage of you. And he, like I said, he looked really good for a man that's been out for a while. He needs to get. His body needs to just catch up, and it's going to take a while.
These are important minutes for him.
So
before
do you think that as he played a half today and he came on for those minutes in the last game, does he start now in the next league game for you guys?
I think he does. I think he starts again.
Tony's nodding his head. No, not you.
Nah, because you let him play half next against Crystal Palace, and he gets 2 weeks.
What does he start or does he come on?
No, he comes. I'd rather have him come on.
Okay.
Do you start Trossard?
I would.
Okay. I would.
He would what, right? You cut yourself off.
I think I was a little bit disappointed with. I think Martinelli had a tough game. He was fouled a lot.
I like that one.
I also think Martinelli didn't have the best game, so I would start Trossard on the left, Jesus in the middle, and Saka on the right for Sunday.
Gary?
That's what I'd do.
I'm not ready to put Jesus in there just yet, especially on a short week.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for us to rush him. We can win with our.
We didn't rush him. He got a half.
We don't need to
put him in
and start. I just He almost scored the last time he came in the second half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So every time he plays, he has an opportunity to score, and he's looking really good at it right now. So I would be fine. He started this one. Let him come in the second half in the next one if you want to use him at all.
If you're enjoying the discussion, slap a like on the video, people. It takes a second. Go ahead, Stan.
I even like the option of if you start, say, Trossard on the left, Martinelli through the middle, or vice versa, whatever you want to do there, because they kind of interchange anyway. With Saka on the right and you've got Jesus on the bench, you could even find yourself in a situation, depending on how the game's going, where Jesus could come on the pitch in the second half for Saka. He can play there, right? You've got an option. Huh?
What about Xhaka?
Granit.
No, Saka I'm talking about.
I know. Why can't we take Xhaka and put him on the bench and let Trossard play?
I'm just saying though that with Jesus, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has to play through the middle. There is an option if you're thinking whether we're cruising against Palace, we're cruising, and you think, well, we could take Saka off. He needs the rest, and Gabriel needs the minutes. It's a safe game to put him in, and we keep Trossard, whoever's playing through the middle, if they're okay, to get their minutes in. I'm just saying it's a variation that I don't know whether it's considered.
Me, catch up on a few comments here. Stefan said, "Don't know if Arsenal played a strong team, but surely it was wiser to play a full first team to keep continuity and maybe to put the tie to bed." Sam is here. I agree with you, Don Juan. Low intensity for long periods. No help by playing Xhaka, Vieira, Jorginho together. We were sloppy. Didn't look up for it. Too much slow play. Only 3 changes. Jorginho is probably the 4th. 5 changes today. 6 last week. Martinelli is not a nugget. He's not a ginger. What's happening, Sam? I hope you're well, my friend. Let's catch up here. Don Juan. 5 changes. Obviously, we don't give a damn. Don Juan, for the first time in 19 years, we're so close to challenging, really challenging for a Premier League title. All of this will be looked at the end of May, of course, as Gary has said. He's right. We won't know. The season evolves, and it shows you what your
This isn't
target
the first time
needs
in
to be.
19 years, right?
Huh?
So it's not the first time in 19 years.
First time we're this close, Tony?
We weren't this close in 2008.
No,
We weren't cruising until Eduardo broke his leg.
that was in February, right? 23rd of February. I remember that day. We're a month on. We're
Man's
3
got
weeks
receipts,
on.
Tony. You pick another one. Is there
We're
another one you
closer.
got in your pocket? You got any more?
Got anything else, Tony?
We're good. 2011.
Keep going. Yes.
We were going for the Champions League that year, and then
Um,
Van Persie
We're
gets
not going for
blown
the
off
Champion
for.
League
league.
this year,
The
Tony.
league.
We're not going for
Can
the
we-
Champions.
Can we take a pit stop on the Champions League? Because we hear all these fans say, "Oh, we can't compete unless we get all these
Hold on.
players."
Yeah, hold on a second. We'll get into
Ah.
that. Martinelli is
wait.
like that bird who tells you, lets you feel that tells you, jog on before you get to enjoy. I got to start reading these before I read them.
Yeah, you need to filter. You need to put the little well, you can.
Or,
Yeah, you need to put.
or you got to know your viewers, right? You got to
You
know what
should know,
Sam's all about.
Sam. You should give it a second look before you put it out there.
The only worry thing, or Gary, you could help me.
You know what? Yeah. Sorry. I wish I could flag it for you, but I couldn't.
Right,
Sorry.
right.
Do people still have?
the only-
Gary has
hang on,
retired as a
do
moderator.
people still have knockers? I think more people have doorbells these days.
Yeah. First we had the birds on Sunday. The only worrying thing is we sacrificed Cubs last season to come fourth. This season, I'd like to think the title will be ours now. When you're against City, you can't think that way in March, even though we are a month on from. Stan, do you think this is the closest we've been to winning the league in 19 years? Do you think we've been closer in other years?
No, this is it, isn't it? I mean, as I said in a previous broadcast on this very station that you are all tuning into and should be subscribed to and dropping a like to, we've been in the driving seat since day one. It's not like we were in fifth and we jogged, we leapt over someone and we were fighting for third, and we've been at the top of the castle looking down since day one. Since day one. The only time that we went to second was for like a
3
day or
days.
so. A day or so because
Don't
of goal
tell
difference,
Gray that.
and
He
then
doesn't
we're back
like
at
roller
the top
coasters.
again, right? We were straight
Yeah.
back at the top.
Yeah, the Aston
So,
Villa win.
As soon as we get to that 10th digit, 10th game,
10
what is it
games
that
down.
what is it that Doctor
No.
Strange said in that Avengers film? He said, "We're in the end game now. We
Mm.
will be in the end game, man. That is
Squeaky
it. When
bum.
you get to 10, that's like squeaky bum time, man. It is
Yeah.
on."
Sam said it definitely is on. 10 games to go, and that'll be when we beat hopefully Crystal Palace. Ramsdale not really to blame for that goal, in my opinion. He's asked to play high, and that shot was very accurate. The goalkeeper can only come out as far as he thinks that he's not going to get caught by something like that.
He's still young though, as well, isn't he? He's still young. I know he's our number
Yeah.
one. I know he's
It's
our
not-
number one keeper, right? And I know that he goes away in England duty, and even the number one England goalkeeper looks like he's 5 years old, but he's
Pickford, yeah.
young. He's still got the best to come.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me going on Granit Xhaka. I've had enough of him, says Stephen. Fantastic. We talked about Granit Xhaka last Thursday night. Fantastic goal. These things happen.
Brilliant.
Mr. Tom, that's not good enough for Arsenal Nation. You can't say these things happen. half of us are going into meltdown. Half of us are trying to say it's okay if we win the league, which is kind of where I'm at right now. If we win the league, all is forgiven. Ramsdale was, however, awful for the penalties. He should have saved the 2 of them.
You see, for me, right, when it comes to penalties and a penalty shootout, if I'm the manager of the guy stepping up to kick the ball, all I expect is that you get your shot on target. However, on the other side of it, if I'm the manager of the guy in the goal, I don't expect you to save it. I don't expect you to save the penalty. For me, if you save a penalty, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at? But
No,
I
but you
expect,
gotta
I
give him
expect,
that
I expect my
confidence. You
players
gotta
to
big
get the
him
ball
up.
on target. Sorry?
I'm
You have to
ready.
big up your goalkeeper, Stan. You can't just like in your head already. You're already thinking he's not going to make it. But for
I'm just
me,
being honest.
he's got to make
Yeah,
it.
but
No, but if
he-
you're the
he was
coach,
that close
Yeah,
to
but
he's
do you know
got to
why?
stopping.
make it.
Yeah, but the reason
He was
why
that
is because
close
of
to
what
stopping
I
it.
tell you. The reason why is what I said preceding that. I expect my forwards to get the ball on target, so I'm
Mm.
invariably looking for them to score.
It's a
So,
team effort.
So you're
so for
upset with
me,
Martinelli then? Yeah.
for me, if
It's
the
a team
goalkeeper
effort.
saves one, it's a bonus, and it's like well done for that. I mean, I don't expect you
Everybody
to
in the
save them.
stadium thought Ramsdale stopped that one. It just happened to not kick out far enough.
We are not out tonight because of Ramsdale. I mean, it's a team effort. Trossard misses. Martinelli missed a chance in the first game as well, and we've conceded goals that were cheap. We thought we would go through with little effort, play our B team for the majority of this tournament, and we made a mess of it today. I can't disagree with that. Don Juan is right. We feel we've had to play Kivior in this competition because we couldn't risk the league campaign.
But
Could have
do you
brought
think
him on.
do you think it was a case though, right? When Saliba gets injured and goes off, our right-sided defender, it's a case of well, I can't put Kivior on because he's a left-footed centre back. I have to put on Holding. But you have to remember, I mean, I've seen Man United win leagues with 2 right-footed centre backs. Not every team has a left-footed. So, can you not play? Can you not, as the stopgap, put in a left-footed next to a left-footed? Is it really that bad? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Arsenal went like 10 years with
because a lot of people will say,
two
"Oh,
right-footed.
Holding's so bad. Holding's like fucking the apocalypse." So then, if he's that bad, why can't we play Kivior there? Is it? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Question
You
for
can't play
Arteta.
2 left
He
centre
does some
backs.
weird things, right? He
Well,
does
first thing, Holding's played more minutes and more games for Arsenal than Kivior has.
It doesn't mean he's better than him, does it?
Right. Before we got Gabriel, how long did we go
Is it
with
taboo to play 2? Like 2 left-footed centre backs or 2 rights? It's like
how did we go? How
let's
long did we
have,
go with 2 rights?
It is with Mikel Arteta, but let's get
Right.
Tony. Tony, what have you got?
How long did we go with 2 right-footed center backs?
You tell me.
It was over a decade until Gabriel came in.
And who were those 2 players?
We had a plethora back there. They were all right-footed. You had Colonel Mustard.
Mustafi?
Because you're right.
Yes.
David
Mustafi.
Luiz?
You had all of them were right-footed.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Well,
right-footed.
Mr. Arteta wants a left-footed left centre back and a right-footed right.
Because let's look at the situation, right? If Tomiyasu is now out, let's say he's out for a considerable length of time, and we're going to be playing Ben White as what now? A centre back with Gabriel? Because he's right-footed, right? If Saliba needs a rest, that means there's a hole. There's a hole at right back. So he's the candidate for that spot. For me, I'm just saying, for me, it would have to be probably Zinchenko, right? Because you put Tierney in at left back. It's just Zinchenko. He might be predominantly left-footed, but he can work with his right. He scores with his right. I mean, what do?
Are you talking about with Saliba and Tomiyasu out? Who's playing Sunday?
Let's say they can't play on Sunday.
Rob Holding plays and Ben White plays.
Okay.
Ben White's your right back. Rob Holding is your right central defender.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I thought he did okay today, but the Premier League's going to be different.
You're asking him to do it again, and I don't. I think that's playing with fire, and the short fuse on a really big bomb. You know what I mean? It's like
It's not White Hart Lane.
We've seen him melt down, and like I said, it could be We don't need to
Listen,
give these Crystal Palace attackers any inkling of maybe this might be the game where I can break out of my slump, right?
Yeah.
So
We don't want Arsenal to be handing out gifts again. Tony.
mm,
okay.
Why can't you
Tony.
go with, as I said, Tierney, Gabriel, and White?
Who's your right back?
White. I only listed 3 players there.
You
Sure.
play three. You want to play 3 at the back? Okay, I see. What
We
you're
play
doing.
that way.
No.
no, we don't play
We
that way.
already
You
play
know
that
that
way.
we
No.
have
Most of
4
the time we
players.
have 2 defenders. 2 defenders back there. 2.
No.
Yes, because we bring our fullbacks into midfield at
I ain't
times.
doing none of that wing back shit.
So
This
what's
is
the
a-
difference of having 3 back there?
No.
That are good?
No.
Difference is Arteta picks the team and you don't. That's the only difference. This is only the 3rd ever attempt at Europe. It's only the beginning. Yeah, I get that.
I don't
BS
like saying, oh, well, yeah, but we might not play in it for a
doesn't
while.
enhance
Right,
our
we-
reputation,
Yeah.
right? Don't blame Ramsdale for that long range goal. He also made a couple of key saves. Other players were far worse. Ramsdale was poor. The 3rd penalty, he should have saved it. Their goal was avoidable. Yeah. It's a bit of a shocker. There was a clear foul on Nelson in the box first half. Should have been a penalty. Yeah. I think Stan is forcing a child to sit on camera with an Arsenal shirt on. That's our legend, Tony Adams. Saliba is fine. He was walking around afterwards. So maybe Saliba is going to play. Maybe Saliba will be sitting on the bench on Sunday.
Yeah.
If we started Odegaard, Partey, and Xhaka, we would have won the game. And Xhaka was poor. Things are shit when you yearn for the international break. Tony's the GOAT, says Don Juan. Which Tony, though? Tony has a goatee at least. Bring your comfort doll on Thursday. Prop Thursday. Next Thursday is Prop Thursday, okay? What's embarrassing about losing is Sporting and Pens. Should you have won? Obviously, yes, but shit happens. Yep. Once it goes to penalties, talk a bit about the penalty situation, Gary. I mean, it's not just luck, right? It's about holding your nerve. There's skill involved in taking penalties.
Hey, I mean, you have to pick a spot and go with it. I mean, we saw a similar shot from Saka in the Euros. Similar shot. He didn't give it 100% on that shot. Didn't give it his full attention because he's supposed to put that ball in the corner, the goal in the corner shot. And I mean, the goalkeeper had that thing beat. I mean, it was So it wasn't a good penalty from Martinelli, but he hasn't actually, he hasn't shot as many high pressure ones as and learned from it. He's learned from this one now, right? So when's the last time he took a penalty shot to you? I'm not sure he's taken one for Arsenal. So, but yeah, no, it was when you go to that thing, it's the more experienced players that should be taking it, at least to show the youngsters how to do it, and
Don Juan, I feel your frustration. I agree with your frustration that Arsenal should be winning trophies and should be continuing in Europe. It's nonsense. 10 Hag plays his best side even in Europe. The Arsenal team need to man up. The difference is you would look in the league and say we're 16 points ahead of them.
But you got to we're planning for the future. And the way you can plan for the future is we're all saying as soon as if we get Champions League, things will be different. Yeah, but we'll be doing it for the first time as opposed to doing it now, understanding how you actually work through a season where you're going to be playing midweek and then having to come back and play on the weekends. That's why you have to rotate your players. If we don't rotate our players, then this is what happens. This is what it looks like when you don't rotate your players in a sense that maybe they could play these short weeks because they have been rotated in and out of the lineups, and they don't have, as Tony will tell you, 2,000 plus minutes at this point in the season.
I agree.
We have players that can come in and give them 20, 30-minute breaks throughout the season.
I agree with you. This is what it looks like. This is what we should be doing. We should be rotating the players. But what we've seen now, Gary, is The players that are rotated in have not been good enough to maintain the level.
But you asked them to, as I keep saying, we asked them to do it in the big games.
Every game's a big game. What
No.
big games?
They need to be doing it more. They need to have more minutes on their legs, is what I'm trying to say. It can't just
I don't
be all right.
know,
Now we're going to play in the second leg of a knockout round. Here, show me what you got. No, that's not what
we
what
played this team. We played something like this team against Man City in the FA Cup. Played quite well. You know, we mixed the team up 5 and 6. We've been doing this.
You think if
We
there's
did
one
this
player on
last
our
year.
squad who should know how Sporting Lisbon operates, it would be Teabag, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we pull them. So obviously not.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
you take Fabio Vieira off and you bring Erdegaard on. You see the
No, but
difference, right?
that's my problem with it. We're trying to chase goals, and we take off one of our a young, yes, inexperienced attacker for us, and keep Xhaka on, who's not known for
Okay, so
his attacking prowess. It's not one of
yeah.
the skills that he brings to the table at that point in the game. You bring it on your captain, and
Okay.
we're trying to chase for a
So-
goal, and we don't want to go into extra time.
Mhm.
I mean, it was by the time we put Erdegaard in, it was already in the extra time. But I don't want to go into extra time at all. I want to try to get out of there in 90 minutes. And if we lose it because we maybe lose a little bit of our stability on the defensive end, so be it. We lost anyways, and we had to play an extra 30 minutes. So why not go for the win?
Reddy said the starting 11 tonight was good enough to get the job done. No excuses for Sunday now. Fine margins. We lost on fine margins. We didn't get the breaks that we needed, and we weren't good enough in the penalty shootout. Sporting were quite happy to get to the penalties and take their chances. And, European sides will do that, whereas we really needed to win this or try to win this.
And it barely got there. Gabriel's 2 good headers. Keeper was up for it, stopped it, went into goal kicks.
Eddie would still be playing now, trying to hit the target. Paul's here from in the North Bank. Welcome, Paul. I've just gotten home from game. What a day! 4-hour drive from work before getting to the game. Really wanted this Europa. It was our best opportunity to win it. Yeah, I know Stan is a completionist. He wanted it to happen as well. We lost to the better team over 2 games. I think we were the better team. I just think we made mistakes at key points. I think if we would have played this with our strongest, even one of our strongest sides in one of the games, we would have won this tie. The players missed a beat today and looked short of the expected level of effort and tempo. And we come back.
And the question always is, why is that?
Do you know why? You want to know why?
Yeah. Somebody tell me, because I want to know why. What is that? Why?
I feel some of our players in our squad believe they can't overcome a Partey, overcome a Saka, overcome Erdegaard, overcome Ramsdale. We have a strong first 11, and the depth really don't believe in their heart of hearts that they can displace many of those players.
Can't win every game. Doesn't work like that. We had 13 shots, 9 on target.
It's not a good. It's
know,
not a
when
good.
That's
not the reason.
When the game went to penalties,
we were
keep bringing that up all the time. Right? There's no away goals rule. We were equal to them in score. Then you get what happens. It goes to penalties. It's the biggest lottery of them all. The penalty shootout. It's just a lottery, right? That's it.
It is a lottery, but there's also some skill, and you have to hold your nerve in these situations as well. Stan, do you think Tomiyasu believes he can dislodge Ben White from the starting lineup?
Do I think that? No.
Yeah. Do you believe Jorginho says to himself, I can take Partey's?
Does any of those players think they can replace Arteta's kids? No. Next question. He's got his favorite. Everybody knows it.
Who's Arteta's kids? Granit Xhaka? He's quite old for a kid.
Well, Jorginho's only signed an 18-month contract, so obviously, he knows what the deal is, right?
Yeah.
He's not signed a 3-year contract.
Paul says these squad players have to play games. We may not be where we are in the league if this rotation was in the league games. Exactly right. If we rotated like we did in Europe in the Premier League, we would not
saying
be 5
rotation,
points
but players
clear.
don't need to play a full 90 every game. We've got
Even-
players that have not. We've got players that have not come off before the 90-minute whistle. We've got more than more than probably most of
We'll
these
go
teams
there
that
again.
we're talking about.
Gabriel, 3,152 minutes.
That pass, right, that Jorginho put into Martinelli was world
Yeah.
class. That was world class pass, man.
Also, BX is right here. Saka played a great pass in the second half to Trossard. I don't know why he didn't load that up first time and shoot from there.
We needed to lean on our attackers, and they did not show up in 2 matches. They didn't show up in 2 matches. If I told you that, players that are sitting on 10 goals in the Premier League would not get a goal in 2 knockout
Wouldn't
rounds,
believe you.
you would go, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Martinelli had to score on that breakaway in the first game. Martinelli had to score in that first game on that breakaway. What exactly is Vieira supposed to be doing? Creating, scoring? He's supposed to be doing what Erdegaard's doing, but
when we bought him, he was the highest assist scorer in the Portuguese league for that season. So that's what he's supposed to be doing. Is he doing it? That's another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
we could not get simple things right, let alone trying flicks, and we were doing some flicks in the box as well. If you take the M away from Martinelli and replace, okay.
May I just say though, in Teabag's defense, when I like his lawyer, in my client's defense,
come on, stand up for him.
This is like getting like an episode of Prison Break now. In Teabag's defense, right, when we had Odegaard on loan for that period of loan, and he went back to Madrid, I did see people saying that we shouldn't be making an effort to get him back. They weren't impressed in that snapshot what they've seen of him, and I'd like to think that the money that we've spent for Teabag, it's not like we've spent like 15 million on him, 17 million or whatever. We dropped 35 bags on him. It's a lot, which is quite a chunk of change that we've dropped. And I still want to give him a little bit more time. And this time next season, I think I'll be able to see whether that the money was well spent and we've got another little Cazorla in there, or we overspent. So
I think, see, then that's my thing is, if that's the case, then he should be out on loan.
He didn't have a preseason. We've got a small squad though, as you know, Gary. He can't.
I know, but why not go get a more seasoned player to come in and play for you then, if he's not going to be ready for a year?
You got to look at what they're looking at there, right? They're thinking, hold on a minute, there's this geezer, right? It looks like a guy out of Prison Break who's got like the highest amount of assists.
That's one reason why I wouldn't even bring him in, based on what you just said there.
Could work
That's
for
like
we should have not signed
that's a
good figure on your resume.
Yeah,
it was up there. It was quite a lot. I can't remember what the figure was as well. It was a high number as well.
That's the reason why.
Think about what we're saying, right? You're looking
Are you telling me that you're looking at him, right? And okay, let me make a comparison. If you look at him and you see what you've seen in the snapshots, is it better or worse than what you saw when we had players like Dani Ceballos or Denis Suarez? I'll give you those two examples. Are you seeing anything better, potentially, or are you going, he's worse than them?
I think potentially he's better, but I don't think he's been much better than either one of them.
He's totally better than Ceballos, better than Dani Suarez as well. Reddy would take 7 points from the next 3.
Can I ask Stan a question now, Rick?
I'll take 9. Yeah. Tony,
I'll
be right back. You take over for a second, Tony.
Okay. On your Etsy store, why can't we buy each?
What the hell? We're talking football. Now you're going into like shopping, FAQ shopping questions. What the?
I just want to know why I can't buy each.
Tony, hold up to the back room or something. Let's talk some football right now. Stan, how come you don't have pink tutus on the Etsy shop? Because I really want a pink tutu with Xhaka faces on it, and I really can't find it anywhere.
And Gary,
I-
you look incredible in one. If anyone could pull it off.
Says the Darth Sith Lord of New Jersey.
So where do you want to go next then with this game?
No, like I said, I think Vieira for me isn't like where the squad is now, where the squad is coming into the season. Vieira wasn't a good pickup for me because
He didn't have a pre-season, did he?
he didn't, but I don't know if that would have made a difference because I think he needed to actually be with this. He needed to kind of come in the same way that Erdogan came in that January window
But
where
he's all we've got, right?
we weren't
But hang
expecting him to
on.
be a starter for
He's
us.
all we've
though.
got, right? So he's all we can use. Are you saying then that we should have got someone else? That he was a bad buy?
There are not too many people that have come out and play as good as Odegaard did on his loan spell.
And some people said he didn't play that well on his loan spell.
Some people were still saying when he went back to Madrid that we should be looking at Buendia or Madison.
Yeah, I mean,
At that
I don't
point.
think he played like where I went, okay, this is gonna click, and that maybe that's Arteta's his the way his magic works.
And that's
So
why
you-
that's why
yeah.
Mikel Arteta gets paid what he does and does what he does because it's his job to see that, right?
Yeah.
He didn't go, yeah, fuck it. Let's go and get Buendia. Fuck that. Yeah, you know what? Let's drop 60 million and get fucking Madison. That'll keep everybody happy. He went, no, let's go and get this guy for 30 million or whatever it was. And look at how it's paid off. So what I'm saying is that I have seen flashes from Teabag that you've seen. Yeah, man, this guy knows he's good on the ball. He might be a little bit slight. He's got to get up to speed in this league, and it is the best league in the world. They say that's what they tell us, right? That's why everybody pays such a high subscription to be able to watch the damn thing. But I think that, I do think that when we get to this stage, maybe a little bit earlier, even maybe Christmas time of next season, if Vieira is getting more starts, I think that we'll have a really good idea if the money was well spent. So I'm just saying that for me, the jury is not like, yeah, take him away and hang that guy.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I just would rather have somebody else who can give me the quality starts and the quality substitutions that we need right now. That's what I believe.
is Granit Xhaka the better player right now? Is that what we're saying?
But he's a better player than ESR, right? At the moment, right? Hear me out. Teabag's a better player than ESR. You know why? Because he's available. Because he's available to play. That's the thing. What I said earlier. It's okay having players that if you can't count on them and even bring them on or whatever, they're no good to us. No matter how much we love these people, we need to be able to count on them. You know what I'm saying? And ESR, we know that when ESR comes off of the bench, we've seen it. He doesn't come off the bench and he makes up the numbers to see a game out. He can nick you a goal or cause a goal, which is wow, that's worth the money in itself.
Let's remember Emil Smith-Rowe's
so we have
header.
to that.
Emil Smith-Rowe's header for Partey's goal in the Bournemouth game, which
exactly,
and that's another reason why I think I'll take him over Xhaka. Can we say that? But we won't do it because why? Because Xhaka is one of his kids, right?
Or ESR is just not available because of his fitness levels.
No, but I mean, even where you can take Xhaka out and bring an ESR on, you can do that. That's actually an option, right?
I think, Granit Xhaka, his time may be waning, but we've said that before. Yeah. But we have to give him credit this season. He has not been the Granit Xhaka
from George Foreman.
He's not been the Granit Xhaka of previous seasons.
You know what? But that's because we're asking him to do less.
But also, Gary,
you're asking him to do less on the pitch with their technical abilities, and then saying he's playing better. No, if you suck at something, and I tell you you don't have to do that anymore, guess what? You're gonna look better.
That's true, Gary. I agree with you. But his discipline, you can't deny he's been a lot better discipline-wise.
Because he's not being put in those situations to be in. Yes, it is. If you push him up the pitch, he's not required.
I'm talking about discipline.
Yeah, but his discipline was because he had to play defense. He can't play defense.
He used to get yellow cards for doing this.
Playing defense.
No, for talking to refs.
But because of defensive reasons, because he had to play defense. That all stemmed from that. You push him up the pitch, he doesn't have to defend as much. He's never in those situations where now he's getting chatty.
Definitely, but He's had a very clean nose this season.
because he's further away from our goal.
Yes, that's a large extent
I
to
know
it,
that's
but
the number one reason why he looks better on paper
okay,
now. For
okay.
me, anyways, I don't know what other people see. I don't believe he's
Well,
playing that much tremendously, but he's playing
I
like
see
he did for
different.
Switzerland, and that's because he plays
Great.
a different system there, right? That's what I
Ask
wanted.
Gary, Tony. Ask Gary.
I
What
want
does
to ask
Tony want?
you:
What does Tony want? What do you want?
has Xhaka's form been better or worse for the last 3 months? He's been on a decline, correct?
Yes, yes. The World Cup. Yes, yes. Okay, got you.
Thank you.
Tony has 5 main branches of discussion. Everything stems from those 5 main branches. The World Cup is one of them. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is another
Maitland
one.
Niles, that Maitland Niles MVP performance in an FA Cup.
Everything branches from these 5.
Magni
These
shit.
5.
It was one of the best things you've ever seen in your life. If you haven't, go back and get a recording on VHS and watch it.
We never
Betamax,
won the world. We
8
never
track,
won the FA Cup
anything. Go back and
without
check it out.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles was the root to everything. The Arteta is where he is now because of Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Arsenal are 5 points clear. It's another happy accident. It's another happy accident. What does Tony
Hey, you
Adams
see
say
that Big Gunner's last comment? Xhaka scored twice in this
in
tie,
this tie? That's
and we
crazy.
didn't get the win. And,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's him getting scoring and our attack is not good.
Yep.
And he didn't even score one. He hit it off somebody.
Yep. Yeah. He affected 2 goals in this tie out of the 3. That's a little bit of an indictment. BX Gunner, listen, I've seen Arsenal rocking the way it is now. Never seen Arsenal rocking the way we are now. It's been a great ride, and it's only the beginning. And hopefully part of this season can end in success as well. So we're clinging on to this one avenue of a trophy here. Today we had 2 avenues. Now we have 1. And maybe it's going to help to focus the team. We've seen we haven't gotten derailed this season by defeats. You know, we haven't strung 3 losses together in a row. So I try to reminded a little less of your criticism, Arsenal would serve you well. Thank you, assembled. Telling off Mr. Tommy ankle or upper calf from where I could see. Saliba was holding back our side, but others said hamstring. Okay.
So
Mr. Tom left probably because of the chat. Says, was it getting harsh? Was it getting harsh out there? For some people, football is a matter of life and death. Yes, it's an amazing season, but not going to be happy with Arsenal going out of Europe. But this is the thing about football, Stan. You don't know. We're not going to know, especially in the Premier League, until the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of, there's 2 things you can do. You can either enjoy the ride, as Gary says, enjoy the ride, enjoy where we are right now, or you sort of curl up in a ball and wait and see what happens till the end of May, and then you can enjoy things. So I'm going to enjoy the Premier League. We have 10 or 11 more games, Tony, and we have to enjoy the Premier League now. We had a fantastic season. We have had a fantastic season to see us where we are now. And we're just talking about what's going to happen in the future with Granit Xhaka. What's going to happen with Fabio Vieira, Tomiyasu? Are these players that we're going to take into next season? Probably have to. But are they going to improve? That's the question, really. You know?
you can't take those injury-prone players too far.
Which ones are injury prone?
Tierney, Tomiyasu.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. There's real question marks about Kieran Tierney. I think Fabio joining with a preseason injury didn't help anyone's cause. What's disappointing is our European record is so poor. This happens too often. We have Liverpool fans coming after us because we don't have European pedigree. Well, Liverpool fans, you don't have recent Premier League pedigree. You have more Premier League titles than us, but you don't have it. You have one in the last 30 years. So Jesus played well, just needs more time to get fitness and timing up to his standard. All right, so who played well for you tonight, Stan?
Um,
Trossard is very good at holding the ball.
I thought
So,
Trossard
yeah.
played very well. I thought Jorginho played okay. I thought Odegaard played okay when he came on. I thought there were a lot of good performances out there. You know, I just felt that they had a keeper that managed to make some good saves. And obviously as well, there's a goal that they scored, which was, you know, an RKO out of nowhere, so to speak. And these things happen.
Yeah. Tony, who are your star performers?
Pretty much the ones Dan had, plus Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel as well.
Gabriel Magalhaes really tried to
It's a very good chance.
Erdegaard comes on, and for me, I kind of saw in a little cameo, Gary, why Erdegaard is the captain. You know, he injects pace, he injects enthusiasm, he injects
That was
impetus.
Arteta's worst choice of the night. Waiting that long to put Odegaard on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, yeah, I can see if you want to ask me why he made him captain, I think that's the reason, because you know he kind of leads the pace of the attack. Gary, who do you think stood out for you?
Outside of everybody we named, for me, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
Martinelli had a strange game. He seemed to be fouled a lot. Maybe they keyed in on Martinelli as the danger on the team sheet.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Goal scorer,
Martinelli and Trossard looked really good in the game.
So yeah, they probably looked at that just stats wise and said, okay, that guy there is a top goal scorer. Let's you know, you're on him today.
Fouled.
Rotate on him or whatever.
Fouled a lot, right, Stan? He did seem to be fouled a lot, and the referee didn't offer too much help in terms of yellow cards for helping Martinelli.
Still sent one of theirs off, but it was a little bit too late. You know, there wasn't any time for us to capitalize on that. But you know, at the end of the day, I have to be on the other side of it. I'm like, it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take us to have, you know, for them to go down to 10 for us to win at home. And as I say, you know, I think that the right team won. Not the right team as in, you know, I wanted them to win, but as in they earned their win. It was, you know, for me, we managed to, you know, we matched them on their goals, you know, at the result at the end. But you're going into extra time and penalties, and that's how it goes, man. And this is a young team. This young team can learn from this and hopefully take a performance like this when next season they should be playing in the Champions League, and they can maybe draw off of an experience like this to help them out of the situation. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted to win this competition. I did really wanted to win it.
Yeah, I was looking at a double. You know, hopefully going all the way.
Exactly.
Meeting Manchester United somewhere along the line, which would have been
memes ready and everything, man. But there you go. We'll never see those now.
Part of my notes were this was not a performance that would have scared anybody. If we'd have gone in the hat tonight, all the other 7 teams in the quarterfinal would not have feared us coming out of the hat. Must win Sunday and against Leeds. Can't afford to lose to Liverpool, says Riddy. I agree with that. To me, having a European trophy puts you in a different echelon. Then there would be Super Cups to contest, and who knows. Paul said, really, Granit bashing, Christ's sake. I think it's valid if you're an 8. If you're one of the 8s, you need to weigh in with goals and assists. Look at Erdegaard on the other side. He's gotten himself 10 goals this season. And we're not, if Xhaka's only on 3 or 4, and he's got a couple now in Europe. But he could do more as well, I feel.
He doesn't. Yeah, but he's had opportunities to score, and he's failed.
He squandered some chances. He has. but I did enjoy that goal. You know, he had to react to it. You know,
Definitely.
the ball in by Jorginho, though, he doesn't
He
going to
plays
get
the ball inside the fullback, between the
Oh.
centre back and inside, right into Martinelli's stride. And Martinelli, great shot. And when you put a shot to the back post, the keeper can only parry it in that direction if he can't deal with it. And Granit Xhaka is there, puts it away. We really should have gone on from that 1-0 lead. A win at Palace. We're playing at home as well, BX, and an international break to recover from injuries should have us recharged and ready for Liverpool. I think it's also important that we're playing at home as well. And I believe most of our home games are games we should pick up maximum points on. The away games, we know the away games, they're tricky. Xhaka Boom.
We keep more clean sheets away from home now, don't we?
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Well,
away from home don't seem to be the problem.
I think we have about 5 away games, and it's at Anfield, it's at Newcastle, it's at the
Could help
Etihad.
us. We seem to do very well on the road. The team is doing very well on the road. Surprising, right?
Exactly.
You'd think it would be, you know, the Emirates, which would be the fortress where we would be like, you know, keeping business, but we're keeping more clean sheets away from home. And if you've got more away games, then I hope that trend continues.
Let's go for exactly. We need that trend to continue if we're going to keep Manchester City at bay. We're not going to beat City by 5 points or more. I think it's going to be close at the end, but I think we can do it.
What do you reckon?
2 points.
Isn't it squeaky, that, isn't it?
I think
again, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Because when you say that, in the back of my mind, I'm hearing that Brentford 2 points that we should be. I just keep.
No, I think we'll beat you. I think you'll probably be saying in June that
there's 2 points at Brentford. I can't let it go. I still can't let that go.
Next season, you'll be talking about it, Stan.
It's like a dagger in my heart. That's, you know, if I move the wrong way, it's like, oh, it hurts. I just can't. Oh.
It's still there. If you pull it out, you'll bleed out. You know what I mean? Tony, we've all given you candidates. Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with the one that played more minutes. Go with little Gabriel.
Martinelli.
Mega legs.
He's not little.
I know. What are you talking, little Gabby? what are you, like, one of the biggest guys we got on our field?
I thought you got one Martinelli.
Don't they name big guys tiny all the time?
That's not his name.
You don't pay any attention to pop culture.
That's not his name, though, is it? They don't call him Tiny.
How do you know what they call him?
They don't call him Tiny, Tony. Stop it.
Tony knows they call him Tiny. Tony knows something we don't know, right?
That's like you saying, you know what? Let's go with the guy with all the hair.
Have you seen him in the showers, Tony, or something? What's going on?
Exactly.
They'll call him Baldy.
That's what they call him, Tiny. I know.
The water was cold. The water was very cold that day. Anyway, moving on. Allegedly,
he's a proper old school traditional defender. Had a good amount of blocks and tackles.
Who, Tony?
Tony Adams. Yeah. Wasn't sure if VAR was running. Nothing seemed to be reviewed. Yeah. The referee seemed quite confident in his own abilities. Martinelli was nervous. Let's hope this fuels him to go all out in the league. I've seen some people say that because of Saka had the miss for England. It's going to spur him on to better things. Martinelli's just going to continue as was. I mean, he's our top goal scorer. He did look nervous to me, stepping up.
Well, also, I mean, the shot showed you that he was nervous. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Summer additions will bolster our challenge for next season. We need to go out. It's clear as day, right, Gary? We need to go out and get some players in the summer.
Yeah. We can't compete in Europa League. We definitely need to be able to.
If you watched him play that game, you'd be nervous too, walking up to the penalties. But
Sporting Lisbon are
Champions
League caliber team.
Bayako Saka has come back a lot stronger from, on the international stage.
Yeah,
getting pelters for missing the penalty. He's come back stronger from it. And maybe this is part of what sometimes might need to happen to a young player, which Martinelli is.
Yep.
He's gone up there, he's missed his penalty. Maybe it just means that he works hard on penalties now, and he comes back up. And the next time there's a penalty, he's like, I want to take this one.
Yeah.
Just think about it the same way that he got sat on the bench for a bit and he came back and he scored how many goals since, right? Since
Learning
Trossard's
curve.
come in, he's been on the tear scoring goals. So you need the youngsters need they need that journey that they need to go through, right? You're not playing well, you're gonna sit on the bench. Next thing you know,
And
boom, they get how do you say it? I can't think of the word now, but he got inspired by sitting on the bench and came out and has been looking good ever since, right? So
this is a young team. This is what we've signed up for. We've signed up for this, and you have to understand that it's a learning process with youngsters. They're learning on the job, and they're doing remarkably well. But there's going to be hiccups. This is what we've signed up for, so we just have to suck it up.
Yeah, definitely. Also, we have to congratulate Sporting Lisbon. They played well. They beat us on penalties. So, congratulations. There's a Sporting Lisbon fan here, Jao Sal. Hey, I think I can say go and beat Manchester United, right?
Let me say something to Joao. He'll understand this. Now Fajmal. He knows what that means. No Fajmal.
Okay. Fabio seems like he's more effective on the right. So yeah, Lisbon fans are obviously enjoying coming to the Emirates and getting a win. Don Juan, I'd just like to say, Kim Kardashian, please don't come to the Emirates again.
What's that all about? Yeah.
Bad luck omen. Better. I think you can be.
The bad luck was the leaky fucking roofs.
Xhaka has now cost us 3 goals this season. That's all you need to know. He scored a few as well. I'd say that, Gary, I'd say that hammer has hit the nail straight on his head. Xhaka point. And I'm a little bit behind, so it was way back. Come on, Arsenal. Let's win the league now, says Don Juan. Stan, I'd call that goal a stunner. Xhaka haters are a weird bunch. We don't hate Xhaka. There's a place, and I think he's been overplayed.
We just despise him.
No, I think there's a lot of goodwill for Granit Xhaka this season. Gary and I are slightly different. Gary and I are slightly different on Granit Xhaka, like in terms of he hasn't picked up any yellow cards, which is very strange. Yes, you can say it's because he's playing further away from goal, but there's a little bit more to it as well, I believe.
That's the key thing. You put him back there and ask him to back up Partey or Jorginho, and then tell me how it looks. Okay, it's not play to put him on left back and have him play left back, and then tell me how it looks. There is a reason to why we're seeing this.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
he is a.
I have a question for
anybody. Leader. He's a good leader, but he isn't a player that. He's a good leader, but he isn't a player that brings the skills that we need in that position.
Yeah,
he isn't. I mean,
yeah. All right, Tony. Tony has a question for the chat box.
There's going to be another one of your stupid questions again.
Gary has a question for Stan. Has a question for me. Everybody.
You have 3 players. You have 3 players on a. You just look at them setting up there. You got Zinchenko, you got Trossard, and you got Xhaka. Who are you picking?
These are your left 8 candidates.
These are your left 8 candidates.
Okay, with everybody being fit, I think Trossard would be a good fit, right?
Either one of them, because they can play either spot.
So, Gary, with everybody being fit, is it going to be Trossard? Is it going to be Zinchenko? Is it going to be Granit Xhaka? Can we throw Emile Smith-Rowe in as well?
Yeah, and everybody can. Xhaka can play there. Everybody, we got like 10 players who can play in that position.
And we talked about this last Thursday, Tony, as well. Ad nauseum, we talked about this last Thursday.
But if we're looking for a goal, it'd be nice to be able to put one of our offensive players in that position that, You know, as you say, Emil Safro could take that spot easily, and we would be more on the
You
attack.
didn't send me a link last Thursday, Ray. So how do I know?
You said you couldn't be available or something, I'm sure, right? Tony, don't interrupt people when they're talking, please. Although I know you well. Tony's like he's
Not
like the
you.
smallest puppy. He's like the smallest puppy in the litter. He just gets bumped out a lot, right, Tony?
That Tony? Right next to Stan?
The thing is with
That's
Xhaka, right? It's not hating, and it's just like if you can upgrade on a player, then why wouldn't you?
Why
It's
not?
no different to like when you're playing FIFA and you fire up the career mode. You look at the squad and you think, okay, which players am I going to keep? Who do I need here? And you probably look at a player like Thomas Partey and you think, well, I'm keeping him. He's important. But maybe you look at a Xhaka and think, well, I've got some money here. I can actually upgrade. I can get a player that can play in that position. It might be a little bit faster and a little bit more attack minded. And what I'm saying is, although I wouldn't mind him being a squad player, and I'm not hating on him, I do think at some point he is a candidate that if you're looking to upgrade, continue to upgrade the squad to continue to compete, I think that he is a candidate that for the position that he is playing, there was a better profile of a player out there that would give us a little bit more end product. And what I mean by that is, I like the goal that he scored today, but we have seen instances where he's been in positions where he has an opportunity to maybe put someone through or take a shot, and he does neither.
If you can take that shot, think about it. If you can take that shot, Xhaka, what the hell happened in the last couple of games when you had an opportunity to take a similar shot and you didn't
What I'm
take it?
saying is, out of 10 chances like that, he may take it X amount, but there are other players out there that will take the chances more often. Do you know what I'm getting at? They won't be caught.
No, what I'm
in
saying is
two,
you
in
said
two
exactly what I
minds.
said
They'll
in a
be
different
decisive.
language, in a different phrase. But if he can take that shot, because that was rolled out to him on a platter,
It came
right?
on a platter, yeah.
Right?
Open.
And he's had opportunities where
The
he's bringing the
goalkeeper's
ball
out
up
of the
himself,
picture.
and all he has to do is put his foot through it, and he won't do it. And you're like, wait a second. So if you don't think about it, you'll just take the shot. But if you have too much time to think, you don't take it. What's going
Yeah.
on? It's the same
And there's
situation. We want a goal at the end of this thing.
there was a couple of situations we talked about in the last games where he's had opportunity to slip players in and he hesitated on the pass. Stephen said Granit Xhaka is the fourth best left back in his opinion. And if we get Declan Rice in, does that push Granit Xhaka down a little bit more?
If what?
If we get Declan Rice in the summer or a midfielder of that ilk, does it push Granit Xhaka back a little bit?
Well, you just answered the same question, right? The question is, if you brought Declan Rice in, would that be an upgrade on the player that plays in that position at the moment, which is Granit Xhaka? I'd say that again. I know it's not FIFA, but his overall ability number is higher than Xhaka's overall ability number, which means he's got attributes which are going to be better. So yeah.
Think about it. Look at our 11 positions on the pitch. We've improved either by the players just getting better or we're bringing in different players everywhere except for that left 8.
Yeah.
And
we brought
the only reason why we have Xhaka at left 8 is because he's not a good 6.
Here's the key, though, isn't it? With that position, is that we're talking about players that could fit in there and do a job on that. But I think at the root of it, maybe more in Mikel Arteta's mind, is it's the mentality side of it that he likes from Granit Xhaka, the experience, that elder statesman, that, you know, in his mind, if there's a bit of chaos, if something's happening on the pitch, he's there to help some of the younger ones. I think there's that element overweighs playing someone that maybe have a little bit more technical ability in that position. Does that make sense?
Declan Rice,
it's a sacrifice.
Declan Rice gives you that. Plus, he's a better footballer. Right? He's the captain of West Ham.
Yeah.
Right? He's England international.
Yeah.
Right? So he does that.
Hopefully.
Right? Hopefully. No, he is better.
Yeah.
He is a leader of men, and he is a better footballer.
Gary, he's a leader of men.
Lead him to war.
No, but you know what I mean? He is a leader.
Like you're speaking about Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah.
We'll be on
the qualities that you're talking about for Xhaka that are the reason why he's still here. We've got that now, right?
And a player like Odegaard has another year in the bank, doesn't he? He's had another year in the bank to mature. They all have.
Yeah.
You know,
Um,
players have had another year in the bank. You bring in a Declan Rice, like Gary says, he's a leader of men. I like that, the way you said that. It's
Leader
King
of
Arthur.
men.
But that, I think maybe that's a sacrifice at the moment that we're making, maybe from Mikel Arteta's viewpoint, is that little element.
Declan Rice, another
yeah.
overrated and overpriced player hyped up by the British football media.
But you know what? That's almost like looking at Jorginho at Chelsea and saying, "Well, he's a terrible player for them." Has he been that for us? I mean, I think some.
I
I
agree a
know,
little bit with Riddy, but here you go.
no, but right. I mean, Jorginho at Chelsea, not a good
The
player.
unfortunate thing,
For
the
our
Yeah, but,
team,
unfortunate thing about
look how much
tonight,
you paid for him.
the unfortunate thing
Bargain.
about tonight is between Jorginho and Xhaka, they conspired to lose the ball in midfield. Which
how do you blame Jorginho for that?
every goal starts with
He passed the
something
ball to
happening.
Xhaka. Xhaka played hot potato with it and passed it to no one.
Jorginho stretched to
Oh my God!
into the
Stop
tackle.
Bargain on
Stop
Jorginho,
it!
man. What's going
Stop!
on?
Stop! Is that your uncle too? You
Right.
got two uncles on the team now. One on the sideline, one in the middle. Come on, that was
no,
a
no,
poor
no.
pass by
Burning
him.
torches and pitchforks for Janino all of a sudden. What's going
Come
down?
on.
I thought he had a good game. I
Wow,
mean, I
Ray,
thought
you
some
got-
of his passing,
Okay,
I
I hear you. You're right, Gary. You're right. I stretched like Jorginho. I stretched too far.
no. You're not gonna no.
How much
Take
of a
it
game
back.
did you watch,
Take
Ray?
it back.
what
Jorginho was
annoys me,
second.
right?
All
No reason.
second half on.
What annoys me is
Jorginho is the reason why. Oh my gosh.
what annoys me about what I saw in the game now, there was like one element where Teabag lost the ball and then he kind of retaliated by lashing out at the player. And I thought to myself, that's not the answer. What you need to do is just make sure that the next time you don't turn the ball over. Do you know what I mean? Don't be lashing out and that kind, getting yourself a booking. That is not. That's not how it is at us. That's not what
First
we do.
half.
That
Double
one,
on
there's
side
that
step.
one part on the sideline there where he had two defenders coming at him, and instead of trying to kick it off one of them, he just froze and then just like basically just took the ball off from what are you doing with this thing, And it's like, come on, you kick the ball down the field or you kick it off them. He's good with the ball at his feet. He knows how to do
He
that.
knows
We
his
see it
team as
all
well.
the time.
He knows his team. He's from his league. He should, you know what I mean? He probably knows all these people, right? He should have felt so comfortable tonight. You would think that he's playing at home and his opposition is a team that he knows everything about. He should feel comfortable.
Steven says, Jorginho, give it up, right? That was all Xhaka for the third time this season. I can't fully blame Jorginho. I can't fully blame Xhaka.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Blame
Xhaka is the reason why they got the counter. He passed it right to them. Ray?
Yeah, but
he was a terrible touch by him.
If Ramsdale is back.
Now you're going to blame the goalkeeper as well. You're blaming everybody but the man who actually started the counter with his poor pass.
Granit Xhaka, yes.
He's going to blame Saka as well because Saka didn't run over there and speed down the pitch.
There's levels to this. Everybody has.
Yeah, his level is poor on that.
Right? Did you get overlooked for that promotion today at work or something? What's going on?
Why is he so upset with everybody but Xhaka?
I'm
What's
good.
going
I'm good.
on?
I'm good. Listen, I'm not happy
Arsenal
are out of Europe. Not happy Arsenal are out of Europe, but here we go. Arsenal are out of Europe, and we get to listen to rival fans harp on about us and not having a European pedigree.
Ray just found out his Bitcoin has dropped or something. I don't know.
I know, man. Somebody
folded
the box wrong at the office tonight, right? That's what happened, Ray. They folded the box wrong. It came out as a sphere. It's supposed to be a box.
That happens, Gary. Things happen.
Ray totally stuffed up the Rockefeller account.
Oh, please stop.
Their biggest client.
Poor pass way off the mark.
Do you work for that? You don't work for Silicon Valley Bank, do you? By any chance?
No.
Did you lose all? Is that what happened? You lost your job at the teller.
No. Xhaka was poor, not just for the goal, but he was poor in general play as well. Noe, have a
Where's
beer.
Noe's bed?
Have a beer. Have a beer on me, Noe. We need to have a beer. That was Ramsdale, not Xhaka. It's criminal to get beat like that. See, we're all going to differ.
You're blaming the goalkeeper on a terrible loss of possession by one of the leaders of the.
He should be able to freaking.
There are
go
sometimes.
backwards, tip the
There
ball
are-
over
there
the
are-
net. Be
There
over
are
with.
some times where you have to say the lad hit a perfectly hit pass, went under the bar and over Ramsdale, and you have to give credit
He should have
sometimes
been able to get back in time.
the quality of the strike. How many?
Ray, starting the show, you said as up in the air forever that he should have got to it. Now you're
I've seen
saying
better
you
keepers
just
do this. I've seen
tip
better
your
keepers
hat,
get beat
say it. Good day.
like that. I've seen better keepers than Ramsdale get beat like that. So
Tony,
you know?
what was that? Was that
you
a
have to
one
give
in
the credit to
one in
you have to
50?
give the credit to the ball striker for me.
Yeah. Tony, was that 1 in 50? 1 in 20?
A lot of you see it made all the time. You really do. You see it quite often.
That's another pearl from Tony.
What nonsense did he say now? Because I've been really
He
trying to
says
ignore him.
the quality of that lob, you see it every weekend.
You see it all of the time.
That's not
Tony,
what I
Tony,
said.
Tony.
Where are you getting your footage from?
Well, yeah. Not only that, but no. Are your
Football
eyes open when
multiverse.
you see this?
You don't see a couple of those this season, you know?
You know, you
guys
just
do.
said every week. Now it's every
I
season.
didn't ever say it was every
He
week.
said
I said
all
I
of
see
the
it all
All
the
the
time.
time. I quote
All the time,
all the
meaning once a year.
You see that all of the time. I'm bored of it. Sick of it. Not another lob
only if
from
you're
the halfway
smoking.
line.
Only if you're
Yawn.
smoking what you and BX are smoking.
I
Right?
haven't smoked anything today.
Not another
you-
guy
you-
lobbing from the halfway line. Yawn.
Yes, no,
I
we
want
are
to see more
disappointed.
tap-ins. That's what I want. I want to see more tap-ins.
We are disappointed about the loss, definitely. Okay. Anything else to say about that loss going
How
out
many of
Europe?
those did you see Beckham make, Stan?
One.
He's done
He
it.
made more than one.
Done one, didn't he?
Yeah, he's done one. Listen, if a player does one in his career, that's good going, you know.
Seriously, I know you're saying he can get back in that, but what you have to, as I said it before, he's off his line. But look where the ball is before it gets struck. You're the keeper thinking, okay, there's nothing's going to happen here. And then the guy has the vision to see he's off his line and hit a ball that can go over the keeper and in. You have to give the credit to the ball striker for me.
Definitely.
So to even dare it. And the vision, the quickness to do it. And Ramsdale was like, he's done what? Now I've got to run back. He's not expecting that shot from where the ball is on the pitch. Who takes a shot from there? He's expecting more passes to go down. Something's going to happen. Next thing he's thinking, he's trying to lob me, the bastard.
I feel like
the ball striker.
I feel like Ramsdale didn't have urgency. I just feel like he didn't have urgency to get back on his line. He didn't feel like he was gonna get beat on that one.
You said it was up there for like 8 or 9 seconds, right?
Yeah. Noe, disappointed about the loss. Let's come back in June, Noe. If we have won our 14th league title, then we'll be okay with this, right? Okay with this.
If not, we might be sitting in our houses, I believe.
If not,
Who knows?
we'll be talking about the 16th of March, the day before St. Patrick's Day. So, by the way, I want to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.
Have you went out to get your beer supply yet, Ray?
Not yet. Okay. The context.
What is that nonsense? 120% to 90 points. What is that?
Okay, so 66 points is.
No, I understand that, but I'd rather know how far we are from 90 points than from overachieving. How could... Who puts out an estimate and goes, all right, I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen. So we're gonna do 120% better.
I'm glad you're not selling me a mortgage. Like, what the fuck? What's the idea?
You gotta read your contract, Stan. You gotta read your contract.
Exactly.
This was Tony's idea, not mine. He kept on harping at me.
120%. What does that number mean? It means absolutely nothing.
Still not buying a mortgage from you.
120% is what 90 points
Oh, wait,
would be.
So wait a second. Tony said something and you said, okay, I'll do it.
You gotta let him win. It's like a relationship, Gary. You gotta let him.
He's laughing at you, and because you actually did it.
I'm enjoying my beer.
Stan ate cabbage pizza for his missus.
I never ate it.
Right?
I never ate it.
Oh, so now what did you say now, Ray?
It was
Tony and
cauliflower.
I did
you.
this for Tony.
Thank you, Ray.
That is okay. I don't know what that means. Change that. I want to know how far we are from 90 points, not how far we are from 70 points, but we're going to do 15 points better.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I
That,
like it. Rain Man.
that doesn't make any sense to me. The 120%. What
Is
does
it
that
not Rain
mean?
Man?
What does
Okay,
that
I'll
mean?
work it out for you.
Can
I'll
somebody
work it out
explain
for
to
you.
me what the 120% means?
I think it's like 68%, something like that, Gary.
Okay.
Right?
I
Okay.
don't know. That's
Here,
why
I'll do
you're
it.
the numbers man.
I'll do it right now. Okay. 66 divided by 90.
Because that means we still got like a way to go to get
73%.
73%. Okay.
73%.
Yeah.
So we're 2/3 the way there. Or 3/4 the way there. Yeah.
So
Anyway.
we need 24 points, right? And we have 11. So if we were to win,
24
if we win
points.
eight out of our
Mhm.
next eight out of our next 11, we'll hit the 90.
90 points.
Anything above that will be looking good.
So we could
There you
drop
go,
9
Ray.
points. I think we'll need 93 for sure, says Stephen. The most that City can get right now are 94 points. Let's keep that in mind. The most City can get are 94 points. So do you feel a little bit more okay with 90, Gary? Knowing that City can only do 94?
No, because I want us to win all of the matches we play. So
Yeah. Okay.
let's
All right.
shoot for the stars, right?
Yep. All right. So our next games then is Crystal Palace.
Yeah. They're having a bit of a shit time, aren't they? Eh?
In previous
you know.
years,
But it's just,
yeah.
I just hope it's not one of them where they finally they scratch something out, because I am concerned that we did give quite a lot of energy in this game,
Yes.
going into the extra time and everything like that. So, I don't like to use that as an excuse, but you never know. It could play a part against a team which is trying to get something, right. They've not got anything for ages. At some point, at some point, they're gonna, as I said earlier, at some point we may lose games here and there, but in Palace's, on their side of it, they think at some point they're going to get something, right. I just hope it's not this Sunday.
Yeah. When you're talking about players that have played the full, was 120 minutes? Is that what they played? 120 minutes and penalties. That's Ramsdale. It's Gabriel Megalegs. It's Zinchenko. I think Jorginho, Granit Xhaka, and Martinelli. So that's a lot of our left-hand side. We need to freshen up. Would that mean, Gary, do you think Tierney could come in instead of Zinchenko, let's say, on Sunday?
I've been asking for rotation on a regular basis, but now we're forcing it now, right? I mean, we've seen our players break down today, right? 2 players bang bang in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
So yeah, no, it would be good to be able to say, let's bring them on, let them get the start, and if we need to shore things up to hold on to the 3 points, hopefully we have a lead. Then we can bring players on, or else we can hopefully just run away with this one as well. We should be good enough to run away with it, right? I don't know. Somebody said Trossard was limping, so
yeah, he looked like he'd taken a knock as well.
So
he played 90 minutes close to as well.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody did Saka take any hits today?
They're sending off. Isn't that sending off? I wanted to talk about that.
That was on Saka.
That was on Saka. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That happened in the middle of the pitch, so I wasn't really thinking like that was Saka.
Now
at last, he gets a bit of protection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a situation you'll see in the Sunday League, but Saka saw the player coming, and both players were committed to get to the ball. Saka gets to the ball first, but that defender, he was going to clean everything out at that point in time and not get transitioned on. Quite happy to take a yellow card and be sent off. He calculated the risk versus reward.
He misses the next match, though, right?
The Sporting player?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you get a red, you miss a match, right? And
No, I think they're wiped out now.
he wipes out in the okay.
Yeah, until the semifinal stage again is the next
So wait,
point.
no, does the yellow card get wiped off, or does the red card get like if he got a straight red, he would be out regardless, right?
I
Wouldn't
think
he?
they totally reset.
So you could have a straight red and play in the next round.
You're probably
Doesn't make
right,
sense to
Gary.
me,
He
right?
may not play, but his team has moved on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
hate Saka going away for a break, and yeah, this is another situation where Saka's taken a high impact, and we always look to him, and then he looks like he's trying to get his feet again, struggling a little bit, but he always comes back. He's a tough player, Bukayo Saka. Okay, so we don't know. Zinchenko really should be rested for Sunday. Tierney should get a start. Ramsdale will continue. Gabriel Megalegs will continue.
Mhm.
Partey will come in for Jorginho. Fair enough to say that. And in that left eight, Granit Xhaka probably continues, Tony. Martinelli probably will be rested. Trossard will probably maybe start on the left. 75 minutes Trossard played. Martinelli played the full 120. Okay. Jesus, you want to see him in the second half, Gary. And Saka will play up on the right.
Yep. No, I mean I'd like to have him. Yeah, yeah. I mean it'd be nice to bring him in, but I just think that he is on a minute restriction, so I'd rather not push
You
it.
didn't give us a right center back or a right back there, right?
I already addressed that earlier. Rob Holding will be your right center back, and Ben White will be your right back. You can't bring Saliba back in straight away. I don't believe.
I'm always scared of Liverpool back there.
Didn't Saka play the next match after he went out early?
Mhm.
Right? Didn't he? He
Yeah.
did. So
I think Bukayo Saka will play.
no, but I mean when he went out and Reece Nelson came in and scored 2 goals, didn't Saka play the next game?
So Reece Nelson scored against Bournemouth. The next game was away from home. What's our most recent game away from home?
No,
Yeah,
I mean
Fulham,
no,
right?
no. When Saka went out in the first half early in the season, Reece Nelson came on, scored 2 goals. Didn't Saka
Against
return the
Forest.
next match or whatever? I think so. I don't know
Yeah.
who it was.
I think Saka even played that one because hasn't he played the most consecutive games?
I believe so.
60 or some. So he had to be involved in that Forest game.
So
You know?
yeah. So that's why like if Saliba's back, it's just like a nothing. Then he'll be back, but
So
hopefully not, we don't need to do that.
as Stan said, we can't be the Arsenal of old. We cannot hand out wins to teams who are struggling. And Patrick Vieira is struggling right now with Crystal Palace.
Mhm.
I don't want to see him get sacked, but also
He's not
Arsenal.
going to get sacked for 12th place, right?
If you continue to lose games in the Premier League, if you continue not to win games,
And
he
they
hasn't
lost
won. He hasn't won in 2023 in 10 games, I believe it is. 5 draws, no wins.
I mean, his one loss, from dropping on, depending, if things worked out, from being, 17th essentially, or actually being,
Yes, it's very
being
tight down
18th.
there.
So like one loss on the wrong weekend, and he could be in relegation zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a bad 3-game stretch, and he could be relegation zone just like that.
Yeah, and I believe they're playing tough teams coming up.
Yeah,
Playing us,
And
obviously,
it's 3 games between 12th and 18th.
and I
3
think they
points
play
raised,
Liverpool.
3 points. So
I think they play Liverpool as well. But we should have enough for Crystal Palace to win on Sunday, right?
Should. But they've been our bogey team lately.
No, but we have enough. Even with our reserves, we have enough. It won't be easy, yes, but we have enough to. Like I said, do I expect Saka, Martinelli, Erdegaard not to be putting scoring opportunities in this Crystal Palace match? I don't. I feel like between the three of them, one of them will. We could still win a game 1-0. You know, so I expect them to come out and play. And then Tross, hopefully he's healthy, comes in. Jesus has shown that he can bring it. So I think we've got, as long as we get that ball through the middle, and Partey should be hopefully good to go. You know, let him play all 90 minutes, so he's dead tired, and they don't use him. They can't use him as much as they would like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be a good way to go.
How is this season? How have you felt about this season, Gary, so far? I mean, is it taxing on you?
Yeah,
This
because
there.
we have not been like clear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like where you can take a breath. You can't. Every game is important to us right
Mhm.
now. Every game. You know, and I feel even the cup matches have been important because I just don't like to stop the form that we're on, right? The winning form that we're on,
Yep.
and
Now we're in a
then claim
situation.
and claim it's because that doesn't mean as much. Well, they all mean as much, especially if they hurt you in the next one. You know what I mean? So we've been able to respond all season, and I hope to see that once again. But like I said, we've got the 5 wins. I'm hoping for another 4 going into that City match on a 9-game winning streak, and we'll see what happens then. But
Right.
you
So
know,
we've got Palace, we got Leeds, 2 home games, right?
yeah, and I think Liverpool, and
And
then
then Liverpool away.
yeah,
And did you say there was 4 more?
there's 4 before we play City. Yeah,
Southampton then, isn't it?
it is Southampton. Yep.
Okay. And
Yep.
Southampton's at home as well. So
So yeah,
3 home games coming up and 1 away at Anfield.
oh no, you got it West Ham as well. So you
Away.
got
West
so you
Ham
got
away.
three home matches, and then you've got 2
Away.
2 away. Oh, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
5. Sorry. So no. So my thought was 10 games because I said going into the City match, these are 5 winnable games for us. Is Liverpool are really going to be really tough at Anfield? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Have we won there in a while? No, we haven't. So,
Mm-hmm.
but can we? Yes, we need to be able to compete in those matches away from home, right?
Yeah.
And this is they're not where they have been in the past. They are playing better for the season, but we've been playing really good all season. So we need to be able to compete in Anfield, compete in the Etihad, compete in when we play Newcastle, right? And those games could be the difference whether or not we are, laughing going into the last couple of games of the season, or whether we are, on pins and needles.
Yep. I have allocated points to City and allocated points to Arsenal, and my predicted points tally has us at 88 points and has them at 86 points. But it means we have to beat Palace and Leeds, West Ham and Southampton, and draw at Anfield.
And those are all winnable games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
So
it's
we
not
have
the
to
only
get
game that's not winnable are the
13.
City and the Liverpool match, right?
So we have to get 13 points from 15 in my estimation in these 5 games. Tony, it's Palace at home, Leeds at home, Liverpool, Southampton at home, and West Ham. What are your thoughts?
Should really only lose at Liverpool if we drop any points.
Yep. Similar run up to the City.
All winnable though.
This Man City do not have a game this weekend, so this is important, right? It's very important to grab these 3 points that are on offer.
Yep.
They're just waiting for us to collect them.
Yeah,
if
they
we
come
have the
back,
right
and if
approach.
think about it, they come back, and they're looking at an 8 point gap now, right? And
Shout out
if
to
they,
BX.
yeah, and if they,
BX in the predictions at the
yeah,
start of the season said Arsenal would get 88
That's why you
points.
picked 88.
88 points, BX.
You
I
sneaky
no,
bastard, Ray.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that on purpose. That's the way it happened. Yeah, so Gary, we need to grab these 3 points and add them to 5
you need to
here.
grab 15 points, Ray.
One game at a time, Gary. One game at a time.
You are true. Yeah, that
You
is
know?
true. That is true.
Okay, so in the meantime, when City come back April 1st, it's Liverpool at the Etihad. They play. They have to go away to Southampton. Could be a tricky game for them. They have to play Leicester at home. They should probably beat Leicester at home. And then they have to go away to Brighton. And I think you were saying Brighton could be a dark horse for top 4 Europe. They've got a lot of games in hand and they just won one recently.
Yeah,
So,
well, they have 2 games in hand from that team, but they're 6 points behind, so they have to win those 2 games in hand.
but definitely a Europa possibility for
Oh
Europa
no, definitely, yeah. They were Europa one win, and they are
in the conversation.
they're in the wait. Is it
5th place.
no, but like the conference is what, 6th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, right now they are tied for 6th. They have the same points as 6 point Liverpool. The game
We've
in
seen
hand, and it's just a goal difference is the reason why they're sitting in 7th.
we have seen with West Ham that getting into Europe can be an albatross around your neck, can be difficult, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
FA Cup is taking, so Brighton are playing in the FA Cup. I'm not sure who they're playing right now, but yeah, they need to take some points from City, please, before. So there's a possibility City could drop some points against
Right.
Liverpool,
But yeah,
Southampton, or Brighton in the next 4 games.
Southampton sounds like a stretch, though, right?
Yeah, it does. It's away from home, though, and I don't know what they struggled to beat Crystal Palace away from home. They got that penalty. They drew with Forest recently and beat Bournemouth quite easily.
Then
So
they got-
there's a long way to go. Long way to
Then
go.
they got Fulham. Then they got Leeds and Everton, which will be
Yep.
fighting for relegation.
So I had them drawing against Palace. I have them drawing against Brighton and drawing against us. But anyway, there's a long way to go in this thing. Anything else you want to talk about, Tony?
Yes, the thing you kept skipping on me that I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead. It's your opportunity.
Everybody says you can't compete on the championship, on the Champions League. But we finished 1 point behind Spurs, and guess where they ended up? The finals for the Champions League.
Right.
You have to be lucky. It's not impossible.
Right.
Anybody thought they were going to win that? I think
So
that's the problem. They don't care just because you made it to the finals anymore. You need to be able to think you had to go in there and get a win. That's the reason why people are not too concerned about, well, we just made Champions League. That wasn't the only thing that we need to be able to be competitive when you played it. And that was more people's thought
But
process.
they finished
than what
1 point ahead of us. That's the point.
Yeah, but
And they
when
went into the Champions League final.
not this. They beat us by 1 point this year, and what happened?
I'm talking about the year they played for a
Yeah,
final.
what happened?
They
What
beat us
happened
by
this
1
one?
that was
point.
like 5 years ago, Tony.
What happened in
Right?
this
I
one?
don't care. It's
What happened
still
this? What happened this season in Champions League? They beat us by 1 point again, right?
Yeah, last year. Yeah. Real quick to dissemble, do I believe Arsenal can
that's
actually win
choking.
these games, or are you hoping? I believe we can beat Palace, we can beat Leeds, we can beat West Ham, and we can beat Southampton. And I believe we can get a draw at Anfield. So there you go. 13 points. I believe it. 13 points from 15. All right, Tony, bring it up to date on the Champions League. Okay. We're not equipped right now to go into a Champions League. Is it going to be one of those situations where we get to a quarterfinal or a last 16 this time of year next year, and we're beaten by Real Madrid 5-2 or 6-2 on aggregate, and the cycle continues, right?
Not the way that Arteta plays for teams. He generally goes strong, doesn't give the players rest. So that probably means more dropping points in the league than it does
right?
in the Champions League.
Yeah. So right now we're seeing a situation where we're 5 points ahead in the league. We have to favor our league form, and we've suffered in Europe because of this. We went out of Europe in these two games because we didn't play a strong enough team. Next year, we still have to maintain our league form, Tony. We're still going to have to be second or third.
That's why I said it's a be tough. I don't know if we can finish in the top four and compete in the Champions League.
This is what we have to do
coaches.
each and every year. We have to do this now.
We can't do it in Europa League.
Do what? We can't.
We're talking about the league. We're talking about in the league.
You're expecting us to take what we're doing right now and build on it. But what we're doing right now is not. We're not playing. We're not even playing our number one team in Europe right now. And we play in the Champions League. We will definitely have our first 11 playing and probably at least half, if not more, of those Champions League matches. So if we can't do that now in the Europa League, how are we're not gonna be able to do it next year unless
we have to get into a situation where Fabio Vieira becomes more influential for us. You know, where Tomiyasu, if he's still at the club, is stronger.
Smith Rowe stays
more
fit.
confident. These players need to have more of a feel that they're going to get. They're going to be able to compete, and the league will be as important as the Champions League. It has to be as important as Champions League. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think, Tony. Anything else to expand on that? Because we're going to get into this next season now where Arsenal fans will feel they don't want to be in this cycle where we get to a quarterfinal and can't compete against Bayern Munich, against Real Madrid, against Manchester City. You know?
I was trying to see who was still in it.
Well, Bayern Munich beat PSG. PSG will be in it next year again. Napoli will be in it. Napoli are going quite well right now. What are your thoughts, Dan, on next season? We're gonna rubber stamp our ticket for a Champions League competition.
Well, you just look at a display like today, and that shows you that, you know, there's still more additions that need to be made to this squad in order for us to continue our success. Mm-hmm. You know, we go into next season starting again in 4 competitions, and we need to be equipped that we need to be able to, you know, so that we can fight on all of those fronts as much as we can, and hopefully be in a position where we're trying to retain a title. Because as I've said before, you know, it's a really good team that wins the league, but I've always felt it's a great team that can retain it the following year. And I'd really like to see Arsenal do that in my lifetime.
This brings me on to something as well about Ten Hag. Ten Hag trying to deflect from his team by saying, look at Arsenal. Arsenal have had no injuries and where they are. Well, we've had injuries, right, Tony?
Not many.
Yeah, but like, do you think Ten Hag was right by calling us out?
It's a way to try to fire up his players.
No, but that's not the question.
You think he was being truthful, Tony? He said, "Look at Arsenal. Arsenal have had no injuries and pointedly no suspensions." Well, we don't have a Casemiro going on in our team, who's missed 7 games in the league. So I think there's clear deflection there from Ten Hag. Ten Hag jinxed us, says BX Skinner. It's going to come down to improving the quality in the summer, or more Jorginhos will come in, and not players of Rice's quality or age. That's the level we have to. We've reached a certain level now where we are competing for a Premier League. We have to go again. If we, as Stan said, hopefully we're champions and we can attract the really, really top players.
And look at the age of our midfield.
Some
That's
positions,
not good.
and we'll be able to take them in the Champions League. Look at the age of some of our players.
At midfield, look at the age of
Yes, Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. So midfield is what's needed.
and the Egyptian.
He's not. If he's coming, he can't be coming back to compete with this squad. That's just
Who?
El Neni.
And then there's going to be a place for a player. There's
No,
gonna be a
not
place for a
anymore.
player.
We're not that same squad. We keep saying this. We're not the same team we've been. We're in a different situation right now.
We're still going to have to play Carabao Cup
There's
games.
no place for El Neni. There's no place for El Neni. I'm just
You're
saying.
saying there's no place for El Neni. If we have an expanded squad that's going to go into a Champions League and a Premier League and have to maintain both of those competitions, there's no place for an El Neni in the FA Cup.
Nope.
Or Carabao Cup.
Nope. Now, if we're saying we're going to be competing we want to be able to compete on all fronts. He's not. I don't think he gives us that level that we want. Like our worst player has to be much better than El Neni. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we need to bring up that floor, right?
Yeah.
The only way we can do that is if we kind of replace some of those players at the bottom, right?
Yep. Has Ten Hag lost Rashford for as many games as we lost Jesus? No, he needs to go home. The thing we're going to have to remember at the end of the season is Eddie and Kedia sustained us for a period through January.
Maybe you look from within. Maybe an El Neni could be replaced by a Charlie Patino.
Yeah. Maybe not next season, but maybe season after that. And whatever is going to happen with Balogun, we're going to see about that as well.
El Neni coming back from the injury is going to be a worse El Neni than we had. You don't come back better than you went out, and he's old, so he's not coming back. So whatever we thought of him this season, it's going to be worse because he's never going to come back to where he was prior, because he's going to be another year older and he's going to be coming off an injury. Yeah. So for me, they did that being the classy club that they are, but it wasn't. I don't believe it should be, because they expect him to be able to compete and play and have the squad.
There are just enough signs, Stan, that sentiment is getting in the way of real decisions. Granit Xhaka, maybe El Neni. I rate El Neni, but there is some truth to the fact that maybe we're going to evolve past an El Neni, a Rob Holding.
We've stuck with what we've got until the summer.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
We're just postulating. We're just talking.
They're talking about next season.
Xhaka, El Neni, Jorginho, and Partey will be in the mix next season. All right. Should we get out of here?
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Stan? Anything Tony Adams, the legend Tony Adams, got as well, or he's been quite quiet tonight?
I'm not sure I can repeat that.
I hope it's not about me, because I did nothing to the man.
Right? Who's the other Tony?
I think it was about. I think it was about Gary putting down El Neni.
These next 5 games we speak about, we could get us to 26 wins, and that would be our record tally for any season, I believe. The Invincibles got 26 wins, so We beat Palace, we beat Leeds, beat Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton before the City game. We'll be on 26 wins. Stan?
They got something to prove, haven't they, Palace? As I said, they're scratching for a win. You know, it's the old Patrick Vieira link as well. We've got, I think Sambi Lokonga probably can't play, can he? You're not allowed to play against your club when you're on loan, I don't
I don't
think.
know how they write these things up anymore, but I
No,
wouldn't
they
imagine they
can't
could
play.
play.
No, I mean because Cedric
usually-
didn't play against us, and we just
Exactly,
played.
Cedric, yeah.
Right.
So
We were
I was just gonna
scintillating.
say, so it's going to be interesting to see the lineup and
Will we see a
how
low
they
block?
cope.
Will we see a low block?
Who knows? Who knows?
Gary, Fulham did
surprise
not
me.
employ a low block.
I think it's really hard to do that for certain teams that just not part of their makeup. So
Mm.
they try and do it, and then they get punished when they don't. When they're not good at it. So I kind of feel like you have to be really disciplined and get your players to buy into it, and it's not for everyone. So I would
Mhm.
say they can try, but we are good enough that if they don't do it right, they will get punished.
Yeah. Okay. Tony, you get the final word then. Thanks, Stan, Gary, and Tony for joining me tonight.
Mhm.
Not the best podcast. I always hate when we lose, but we went out of Europe, I think, too early. But it is what it is.
Yeah, hopefully the players aren't too down from it because we generally don't do very good going into an international break and coming out of it. And we're playing two teams that fighting for form because they're only 5 points between 12th and 20th,
Mhm.
which isn't much. So Palace to be trying harder than they usually do. They've outplayed us for the last 3.5 seasons now. So
Did they beat us this season when we played them earlier?
I remember.
Everybody said, that was like, how did Arsenal struggle with them? And now look where we are.
Tony was ranting and complaining about the loss of control between minute 20th and minute 85. I think I remember you saying, Tony, when we played them at Selhurst Park, but we still got the win. First day of the season.
yeah, it's a team you should handily beat, but
Good show, better than the match, indeed. And our team, the T was not weak tonight. We were strong. We had a strong lineup here, right? Tony notwithstanding.
that's Adams.
All right, Tony. Say good night. Stan,
Good
thanks
night,
for
Tony.
joining. Gary, thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
All right. You have a beer tonight or something?
Yeah.
Hopadilla.
It's armadillo with hops as his armor.
All right. Disappointed tonight, we went out of the Europa League with a whimper, fine margins.
Can we parachute into the conference league?
No, we're going up. This roller coaster's on the way up, Tony.
I was saying in that shit of a fucking champion to league parachuting into Europa. Stupid.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We could parachute into Europa next season. Who knows? Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Slap a like on the way out, and we will see you at the weekend. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Come on, you Gooners.